there wasn't really an agreement made. There was just, I'm gonna wax my legs. That's it. That's it. That's all I said. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Enough of me rambling on. You guys aren't here to see me talk about being butt sluts and stuff. But sluts. But sluts. We need a bikini wax. There'll be no bikini waxes here, goddammit. There is a huge difference. We're the BUTT sluts. No thing. Anything but slut. Oh, there you go. Anything but slut. All right. We'll do this all day if I don't get this going. All right, everybody. Let's bring on today's guest. Everybody, put your hands together for the one, the only. Oh, shit. Hold on, y'all. Fenwa Teryen! And here we are. We did it.
Thank you for that introduction.
Oh, well, thank you for doing the show. I appreciate you coming on. I really do. It's
of course.
This guy is the bee's knees. Well, there you go. Sully is all in for some Fenwa. First of all, what's the deal with your name, bro?
I mean, how in-depth of a story do you want right now?
I mean, we got plenty of time. C27, welcome in.
Hello, Penny. Okay, well, here we go then. Getting back into music was not really on the roadmap laid out for me by parents and teachers, etc.
Getting back into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't performed for 8 years on stage, and then I decided to get back into music, and then COVID happened. I was like, what? And hence Twitch. But back in my formative years, when I was a younger man with better knees, I found myself in law school. I was miserable. I hated every second of it. I went into it as somebody with a psychology, sociology, criminology, biology background and thought I was going to change the world. But that doesn't happen. Unless you were born with $1 billion, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
I know that's a very inspiring message to all the Gen Zers out there, which, I don't know, I bet the age demographics are not that here. But no offense to anybody out there. One day I was sitting there in law school, just like, I hate this. And I was thinking about music at the time, and I wanted to start an LLC and try to start doing it on my own, because I'd always been in bands ever since I was in 3rd grade, and started a little shitty band with my friends. And then
that's cute.
And then had another slightly less shitty band in high school called Lithic. It was tight.
Lithic. What is Lithic? What is Lithic?
It's Latin for rock. Or stone. So I'd be like, you want to get Lithic tonight? But that was good.
Well,
so
did
back to the name.
Okay, I know, I know, but like with Lithic, was that like, were you guys all sitting around like, yeah, Lithic? Like, were you guys like really like, this is it, man? Like, I just want to know how excited you were about Lithic as a name.
I'm sure we were sitting in our drummer's basement, drinking, not drinking alcohol, drinking some nice lemonade, sugar-free, and probably just shooting names back and forth. And I'm sure we just landed on it while very non-inebriated, because we were under 21 and that's illegal. So we were obviously following the law. It was very above board. But I don't know. I imagine we thought it was pretty damn tight.
I mean, you'd have to. I mean, Lithic.
We were like, oh shit, bro. Like, because I know we were all throwing around names we thought sounded like edgy. Because this is the Ed Hardy era, people.
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing Ed Hardy, but this is like when that shit was like the main fashion in the United States.
Ooh, glitter everywhere, baby. Glitter and
flaming tigers.
Yeah. Ooh, watch out.
With angel wings bursting out of their butts, coming back to butt.
Yes. God, I miss those days of just big douchers like just walking around with their Axe body spray
Yeah.
and wrap around
Yeah.
Oakleys. Those are the best.
I never wore Axe body spray. How dare you?
Just wrap around Oakleys.
I had Folkleys, but I
Oh,
don't know if I was ballsy enough for wraparounds.
wait a second. What's Folkley? Is that just like a faux
Fake.
Oakley? Okay, fake
Yeah,
Oakley.
faux.
Faux
Yes.
Oakley. Folkley.
I even bought mine in Mexico, so it was like extra legit. I liked it. Good times. Okay, so
Flaming Tiger, Hidden Fenwa. How dare you? Okay, so back to the name. The name.
all right, so I have a. If you can't tell, I ramble. So
That's
I was
fine.
sitting there. I was like thinking about, what do I want to do for like a stage name and like as a solo artist because I didn't like what I was doing in undergrad. I was very like really shitty emo sounding. It was bad. I didn't like it. So I was like, let's write a different genre of bad music. And I thought up a character and a persona. And Fenwa Teryen is a space-time traveler from the Sigma Orionis star system in the Horsehead Nebula, from a planet loosely translated to Sloppy Muddy.
Oh,
And see, there are 8 sentient species that evolved on this planet. And Fenwa's species, well, they were telepathic. However, they didn't have a mechanism for blocking sound out, like all the fucking voices in their
mhm.
head. So they started banging on shit, and that disrupted the brain waves. And they invented the first music in the cosmos, and
Huh.
that's how that happened.
Oh,
And
wait. Now, is that like okay, hold on. Now, is that like something you just made up? Like, I mean, not just now, but like is that like the story you made up for the song or for your name, or is that from a book or
um, well, at the time I was watching. This was back when you had to rent movies, okay, and rent TV
Blockbuster?
shows.
Oof.
Yeah, this was back when Blockbuster still existed. It
Hmm.
was dying, but this was in the "we'll mail you some videos" era. Um, But I think I was reading a lot of Douglas Adams at the time. I was rewatching Doctor Who,
Hmm.
and so I think that kind of inspired me. And I'm a huge science fiction, fantasy, like anything weird, supernatural,
Hmm.
etc.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the shit out of it. If it has vampires, I'm gonna watch it, even if it's the worst thing that ever got
Yeah.
filmed.
Mine is zombies. It's like if it has zombies, I'll watch it. I'll
Well, yeah,
fucking do it.
yeah, you gotta because I mean, I need something that it's like if there's a cop show, right?
Hmm.
It's like I'm not gonna watch it because they're gonna butcher Law and Order. But if there's an alien in it
Yeah.
or a zombie who's solving crimes by eating brains, I'm gonna watch the shit out of that.
I'm there. It's just too late. Yeah. Man, have you ever heard? Since you're into fantasy and stuff, I just was reading. I fucking was reading the book, and then the library took it back because I was. Anyways, well, I had to return it because I would have been late. Well, but it's a digital copy, so they just took it from you. You don't get the option of to return it. It's called the three something problem. What is that called? It's Chinese. It's a Chinese book, and it's about. Oh, here we go. Now that I want to talk about something, my brain is just like, "Hey, fuck you! I'm not going to tell
Yeah,
you
man.
the information that you want to convey. I'm just gonna."
Well, it's jam packed
The
with
three body
I
problem. Thank you very much,
ah
Space Bacon. Thank you very much,
three
buddy.
body problem.
Yeah, it's a Chinese book, and it's about the Fermi paradox. Are you familiar with Fermi paradox?
Maybe because it sounds familiar.
Is
The
what is
three
it?
body
Dark
problem.
forest theory? That's a whole theory. That I was in the middle of dark forest, Bacon, and then the fucking library took my book back, and I was like, now I have to wait 4 fucking weeks because I'm too cheap to go buy.
Ah, yes, I've read a lot of articles on the Fermi paradox, especially recently, which has to do with, speaking of the X-Files, right? The possibility of complex, sentient extraterrestrial life. I mean, the cosmos is billions upon billions of planets in one freaking galaxy that is one amongst billions upon billions of galaxies in the universe, and all the relevant physicists all agree that there is a multiverse. So it's like limitless.
Wait a second. Are you telling me right now? Wait, do you mean to tell me that there's scientists out there that literally are just gonna agree with each other that there is a multiverse? Like I thought this was all theory, and I'm sure what they're positing is theory as well. but I didn't realize that it's gone further than just that.
I want to say with the research that's happened in the last 10 years on the Higgs boson and realizing that a lot of theoretical particles that are in theory supposed to travel between not just space but time, dimensions, and we're getting more and more evidence for their existence and other theoretical particles. So it's like
the God
well,
particle, right? Like,
indeed.
yeah.
But the Fermi paradox is like the question is, where are they? Where are the aliens? And that has to do with humans and our propensity for constantly thinking we are the most important thing in the universe. And that, well, if aliens exist, surely they're right next door on Mars. Come on now. It's like, what? Like no, they're not. Probably not. It's the possibility of that is like infinitesimally small. But who knows? A planet in the Goldilocks zone of some star system that's over 5 billion light years away, maybe.
Yeah.
And they but it's we all want the world to be a little more fantastical than it is because it's part of what makes us human.
Yeah.
And people see aliens where there's just greed and shitty people, I would say.
But okay. But what of the UFOs?
Well, let's just say there's a lot of money to be made in the proving of certain things. Like if we want to go back during the lockdown period when all of a sudden we saw these government leaked UFO videos where I'm like, okay, convenient timing, but also they were debunked rather quickly.
Not all of them, though.
Well, okay, accurate. But one of the questions is it a extraterrestrial UFO or is it just experimental shit from us or Japan or Russia or China or one of the many countries that are developing things for outer space travel, for military uses? I mean, typically, it reminds me of when stealth bombers were first being seen and people were convinced. They were like, holy shit. And it's like, oh, actually, no. So I'll believe it when a freaking alien steps off of a ship and is like, yo, how you doing? Like, they won't say that. But
yo, how you doing? Like they're from New York. Like,
yay, we're fucking invading here. It's like,
we're invading here.
So, it's a lot like a lot of extraterrestrial, supernatural, like ghosts, for example. I believe that we have the most greedy species in the history of creation. So if there is a way to make money off something, people are going to do it. And it's the same kind of logic I use there, where if maybe ghosts are real, I don't know everything. Who knows? But where are the people actually showing it, studying it, making money off of it?
Right.
Or like Sasquatch, every time there's a new like finding Sasquatch, I'm like, hold on, let me guess. You don't find them.
They always come close though. They always come close.
Like Sasquatch is like from a SEALs team, and it's like freaking like evading all the scientists of the world looking for them. Just like, oh shit, time to use my teleportation device. Like
his technology just far exceeds ours. It's fun. And he lives in a cave, whatever.
Well, when you're friends with Mothman, I guess everything's possible.
Anything's possible, bitches.
True.
No. Well, like the UFO thing, I think I'm kind of with that idea that it's not so much as extraterrestrial, but more of something that's, it's some technology that's been accomplished here, hopefully by us, or because it definitely, like, if you look at it and if it is real, what we're seeing, which the government is claiming that what we are seeing is real, but to what capacity and what's the context of their existence, who knows? Right. So it's like if that technology does exist, I sure as hell hope that no enemy combatants have it, because that technology is incredibly crazy. I mean, like, to be able to go from, point A to point B in less than like a blink of an eye. Like, like it's crazy. It's great. Our bodies, in fact, I don't think we can handle that kind of G-force.
No. Well,
I
I
think
mean,
we
that's
just
the
fly
question.
it. Like, who's in it? What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So,
It's like you've seen Contact, right?
yeah.
Right. Because that's one of those other questions. Because, okay, the thing is, maybe there are sentient aliens that are already here observing us. Because the only reason they would be here is because we're dangerous, I would say. It's like in Star Trek. It's like at the Vulcan showing up and be like, I don't know, player. You seem like you're going to destroy yourself. So we'll be back in 10 years or whatever
Right.
they did.
Right.
And so maybe, I mean, but I hope not, because if there is an alien civilization that has mastered intergalactic space travel through the use of Einstein-Rosen bridges, we're fucked. Like, so, like, there wouldn't even be a movie. It would just be like, they'd be like, oh, we orchestrated a mass extinction of humans only using this very sophisticated virus. Boom, you're dead. Bye. It's like, there would be nothing. We wouldn't be able to stop it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It would be over incredibly quick. Probably horribly painful as well. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll just be like one of those things where they can just be like, and we're all just like, disintegrate.
Just a nice sigh, just a nice deep, like,
Yeah.
like after a really good morning poop, like that kind of feeling. It's like, oh damn, this is nice. Gone.
Yeah. In the vein of oh shit, what's his name? The guy who snapped in the Marvel universe.
Thanos.
Yes. We
Mr.
could just
Stark, I'm not feeling so good.
fuck it. If it was like that. Now, maybe we could handle it a little better if it was just like everybody was just falling away from you in the ashes around you. Okay. But, okay, so kind of bringing it back to the book, and the reason why I brought up the book is because, like, the book is, which is the three-body problem, in the book, it's the world finds out that aliens do exist, right? Mm-hmm. And then they also find out that they're coming, right? They're coming to Earth.
Coming?
Yes, they're also coming on Earth. They're like just up above us. It's like that.
That's what acid rain is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's why it burns when it gets in your eyes. A morning poo extinction. There it is. Yeah, I agree. So the book is like how the Earth reacts to impending visitation, and I don't want to spoil it if anybody's ever interested in reading this book, so I won't spoil everything that goes on. But like that idea, if we did find out that we aren't alone in the universe and they are actually coming to see us, and then and we know how long it like they're gonna be here in like 200 years, right? Like, so our kids are gonna know about it. Like, what kind of reaction would the world be in, and what would we be doing to prepare for that? Or would we prepare? Would we just be like, fuck it, and just like, keep fucking like, throwing garbage out the window and polluting oceans and shit?
Well, because
burning shit down.
Speaking of scientists agreeing, typically in any field, in any subsection, right? It's beneficial to disagree, because that's what sells the journal articles, and that's creating a dialogue where it's like, well, maybe that's it, but maybe it's actually something else, and let's have a conference and discuss. Like that helps science as a field grow. But when you see a bunch of scientists agreeing about something, that's rare, and you should fucking pay attention. Like, I don't know, climate scientists. So it's like, with all of that going on right now, where if you're paying attention, you're like, oh shit, we should maybe, I don't know, completely change everything we do as a species, and we're not.
Right.
And so I think if we did find out about aliens coming, it was going to be 200 years from now, I think. I know that there would be so much disagreement that it would be 50-50. It would be, political parties taking sides, being like, it's all a fucking hoax.
Yeah.
And because we see this all the time. We see this every day of our lives. So I don't know. I would hope, because that's actually something we used to talk about a lot, about like, what would it take for humanity to really come together and work together and see that, we're all the same species, so maybe let's love each other and shit. it would take an extraordinary, superordinate goal, right? And what would beat an alien invasion? I don't know, because that's like a threat, a direct threat to like your very existence.
Mhm.
So, but humans, we're not very rational. So,
Yeah. What's interesting in the book, and just sort of spoiler, fuck it, is that there's like a faction of humanity that wants to be destroyed because we think that we suck so bad that we need a reset. And so that was an interesting sort of twist to the idea, is that is like, what if there's parts of humanity that thinks we should be ended and thinks that, that that's the best way forward, you know what I mean? So, which I could easily see. I could see that. I could see people thinking their ego is that big that they're like, I will be the decider of what, like, or not the decider, or like, because in the book there's like a faction of humanity that like helps the aliens like get here in the best way to like destroy us, So it's just, I'll be hiding in a cave. I don't know if that's gonna matter. I don't know. But maybe.
I mean, it reminds me of the premise of the show V, which was about that, where there were like a faction of humans that were working with the aliens who knew what their goals were. And I mean, there's always going to be nihilism and misanthropy. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you are educated to a certain extent and you start looking at humans objectively or philosophically, sometimes it's not that good looking. So it's like, I could totally see that. There'd be so many different factions.
Yeah.
And I'm from Missouri. All right, I know y'all moved to the Midwest, but I was born and bred in the Midwest.
Y'all don't know nothing about the Midwest unless you've been to Missouri. So
it's a terrible state. Don't come here. Well, you can come here for Kansas City. Kansas City's all right. St. Louis is okay. And I know what you're thinking, but Fenwa, I want to go to Branson, or I want to see where they filmed the Ozarks. It's like, don't go to Lake of the Ozarks. It's gross, dude. It is so gross. It's been a natural disaster 3 times in the last 15 years. Wow. The bottom inch of that lake is like, don't.
Wow.
It's it ain't good. But I could tell you that show really doesn't capture it too well, because it's a lot weirder and there's a lot more people there.
And they make it look really, really awesome and beautiful. So I don't know.
It is beautiful. Like, I don't want to say it's not. But if I was gonna go to Missouri as an outsider, depends what you like. If you like nature, try to find a natural spring-fed river that isn't, having a bunch of trash and people based in it, where like the catfish by the dam in the Ozarks are like gigantic, frightening mutants. So,
right, but are they good?
Are they good? I don't know. So maybe it's worth the trip to find out.
Shit, I'll eat those monster mutant catfish.
Do what's that called when you put your hand in the mud and you get in there and you let the catfish bite onto your hand and then you rip it out? What's that called? Mudding? No.
Is it?
I forget, but you could do that.
Hold on, catfish mudding. I gotta know.
Noodling. Thank you, Gordo.
Is that what it's called? It's called noodling?
Yeah, it's called noodling. And, if you got a 3-pronged spear, you could get some frogs. We call that gigging. We call that frog gigging. So it's like,
shit. God damn.
Yeah, you can do a couple things. But, I could see certain factions popping up in Missouri. If aliens were coming here in 200 years, that would be quite frightening and alarming, because we're not even covering how many would see them as gods or saviors or angels. So it would be really interesting. I kind of want it to happen. I've always kind of wanted an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse.
Something, right?
I need.
Well, what's interesting is like I don't know. There's a certain amount of excitement since, I don't know, let's say since fucking 9/11. Okay, since like this whole idea of sensationalized 24-hour news cycle, and then of course, and then that evolves into the internet and clickbait and all that stuff. I mean, it's I don't know. It's what is that? What were we talking about? I just led
Well,
myself down a fucking shithole.
well, I mean, I think I might know what you're touching on, that we live in an era of over globalization and everything is salient. Like you're constantly
Mm,
inundated with information at
I
all
do remember that.
times, tragedy after tragedy, spectacle after spectacle, and it's hard to even pay attention to something for longer than 3 days.
Right. And whenever there's like a horrific mass shooting, like it's 2 days in the news cycle, and then we're just back onto something else. So it's like we're
Yeah.
very desensitized to violence in the first place. So
Oh,
I'm not.
absolutely.
I don't know, man. Uh, Humanity it's a sad sack, but I think just to keep it positive, I think it's like it's what we have, it's what we got right now. So it's like
Yeah.
it's sad. I feel like it's sad when people like it's like life is fucking terrible and everything sucks, and it's like, well, yeah, a lot of things suck, but like, how can you be better? How can you add to it to make things a little better? I mean,
Yeah.
it really is about, what kind of positive things can we bring to the table instead of always being like, everything, we're gonna die anyways, everything sucks. I'll settle
Oh,
for the
yeah.
purge, fuck it, let the purge happen. But there's also this other side of me like you were saying, you're like, I'm hoping for an alien invasion. And, ever since sort of how the news has become like basically Monday Night Football, it's like there's a part of me, it's like, who's a little excited for when shit goes crazy. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, that happened. And then, I mean, because there's things that's happened in the last few years that are just like, changes the lives of everyone on earth at the same time all at once, which is a
Yeah.
fucking huge and crazy thing to think about. 7 to 8 billion people all, paradigm
Yeah.
shift in the matter of seconds. And so it like, I don't know, man, that shit is it's just wild. It gets me kind of pumped. It kind of is like, what's gonna happen next? What awful thing's gonna happen next? It's like when you're
Yeah.
watching a show like Breaking Bad
Hmm.
or Walking Dead. It's like, what horrible thing is gonna happen next? It's like, oh
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
I don't want it to happen, but this is the excitement of the whole, of the environment. So here we are. Let's fucking go. Nuclear
Yeah.
war holocaust. Let's go. Let's go. I don't want nuclear holocaust, by the way, everybody.
Right. I
I
mean,
love my family and my kids, and I love humanity. So
I'm a huge fan of Fallout, but I don't want that. Oh, Reina asked me a question.
she did. She did.
So,
Go ahead.
uh, oh,
No,
you
I
can
want
read
to.
it
I
still
want
if
to
you want.
read it out. Yeah, I want
Oh,
to
yeah,
read
yeah.
just so
It's a
people.
podcast.
This is a popcast. Okay, we're gonna drink some pop and cast. Did you paint your nails or did someone help you out? Follow up. If you did paint your own nails, was non-dominant hand hard for you?
So, I think I've been painting my own nails for about a year now, a little over a year,
Practice.
to where it was just funny. Once you get back into music again, right? Because the last thing I was doing before music, I was an adjunct professor of psychology and
Oh, cool.
statistics. I mean, it was, but I hated it
Oh,
anyway. But
oh, cool.
you have to present yourself like in a certain way. You have to look a certain way, or else like you're not going to be taken seriously by a room of fellow professionals.
Mm,
And getting back into music, I was like, oh yeah, dude, I could do whatever I want
yeah.
now. Like again, so one of the things I was like, why am I not painting my nails and be living my best goth prince life? And so yeah, I paint my own nails. At first, it was definitely hard painting with my non-dominant hand. Gotten a lot better at it.
Look
I
at you.
need to. Well, I'm waiting until Tuesday before I go to LA before I go down to San Diego for TwitchCon. So
Hey.
yes.
Oh, cool. So you're going to TwitchCon.
Oh hell yes.
Are you playing at all, or are you just gonna attend?
I'm just attending. Really looking forward to it though. It's gonna be a lot of fun. October is gonna be actually pretty wild for me because at the end of October, during Halloween, the weekend before Halloween, and on Halloween, I'm performing at an event called the Haunted Speakeasy in the old town hall in Salem, Massachusetts,
Ooh.
and I will likely cosplay as a skeleton singer from Hocus Pocus that played in that very place when the parents all danced and were supposed to dance until they died, but the spell got broken.
Dance, dance, dance until you die.
Yes. And I warm up the crowd as I come in, and then upstairs, my friend I met through Twitch, named Nikki Luparelli, aka Spooky Loopy here.
Hey.
She has a big band of, I think it's like a 10-piece band, and they play a bunch of songs from the 20s and take other popular songs, make it sound like it's from the 20s, because that's it. It's a big flap of 20s themed extravaganza, because there's burlesque, there's drag, there's drinks, there's music, and hopefully a lot of other weird shit. So we'll see. But yeah, October is going to be great.
That's awesome. So you got TwitchCon and you got the Spooky Speakeasy and anything else? Any other big October plans?
Probably getting my car maintained for the long trip to to Massachusetts. Atomic Lady asked a question.
Oh, okay. Well, we it's fine. We'll get to that question. So how the questions work is we just we'll ask the question and we talk it out until it ends. But just there's rules, okay, Fenwa?
I'm so sorry.
There's fucking rules. Okay, we follow the rules here.
You know who didn't follow the rules though? Ric Flair.
Ric Flair never followed the rules. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Jet flying, high profiling, son of a bitch.
Man,
Anyway.
right. Oh, okay.
Oh, did we disappear? Oh, we're back.
I was trying to cancel me, but I didn't. There we go. All right.
We got canceled.
I'm just playing with the toys at this point. All right. No rules. Anyways, welcome in, Ziggy. Fenwa is in color. He is in color here. October, Shocktober, as I like to call it. I don't ever call it that. Actually, I do now. I do actually call it Shocktober.
This is the Butt Sluts.
This is the Butt Sluts. And so you know what that means, right? Switch that around. Switch that around. Switch that around.
Good point.
Oh, wait. No, is it this one? Is it 2 in the pink? It's 2 in the stink, 1 in the pink.
So switched around, it would be this. But I mean, if
it's for me, if it's for,
if it's
male,
you could just,
well, if it's
then just
the whole thing. Yeah. All 5. All 5 like that. It's like that.
I mean, why not?
2 in the stink. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
That's I don't have many rules on my channel. One of them is we don't kink shame.
Yeah.
If it's between consenting adults or just a consenting adult with themselves, we don't kink shame.
No, we don't.
Come on
we
now.
Don't. Holy fluff, guys. All right. Where is Mullet Fenwa? Want to see. Will you leave it like that?
I mean, so it's like, it's the beginning because I was just, when you're in an emotional crisis and you do very sound things like shave the sides of your head.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to start, kind of a mullet, kind of a mohawk, kind of a punk hairstyle. Yeah.
Well,
so
what was
we're
it?
gonna get weird with it.
What was it about lawyering and all that like just made you? I gotta get out of here.
I think growing up, we all get pushed by the people that are our parents and mentors, teachers.
Were
to
your
do certain
parents
things.
Lawyers?
My father is a tax attorney. My mom was a teacher, actually taught at my high school when I was there for a little bit.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, I think I always wanted to be in music and performance and art, but I was good at math and science as a child, so I was pushed to do what's practical.
Stricken with the smarts. God.
But it's like, my parents were great. They pushed me to pursue everything I was interested in, but when it came down to like college, what am I going to do? Everybody kind of pushed me towards like, you should, become a doctor. And I went to like pre-med camp and stuff in high school and all this shit that, when I was in college, I decided to switch to social sciences because I thought I could change the world and I wanted to understand humanity and I wanted to save us from ourselves. But then I was like, well, how do I do that? I was like, I know, I'll change it from the inside, as we were talking about earlier, in law. And then you realize very quickly that the status quo isn't just a fancy term you see on TV. It's actually real. And it takes a lot to change the status quo in this world, especially in law. And just the people in law school, I'm not going to say all lawyers are terrible people. I know a lot of fantastic people that are in law. But when you're in law school, you're just like, oh, I hate this. And it was a lot of things. It was the way they train you to see the world, to treat your clients, to treat people in general. Yeah. Just, and I didn't want to spend my whole life behind a desk, which is ironic because that's what I do right now. But
it's a little different. It's
different, but
it's a little different. You get to communicate with a whole group of people and like do what you want and not kink shame and paint your nails and put Velveeta on your arm because you think it's funny. So like whatever, who cares? Okay, yeah, you're right, Saucy. Okay, so I hate to break up the conversation like this, but they're calling for a waxing, so
give it to us.
Let's go ahead and switch some scenes around here, and Fenwa will be involved, everyone. So don't worry. There he is, everyone. Don't worry, he is with us, and there is my stupid legs. All right, well, Reina, are you gonna come do this? I don't know if I want to see you in pain. Oh, you do. You do. Your mind will change quickly, I'm sure. Let me hold on. Give me 1 second. Thank you, Saucy, for that move. Fenwa, vamp. I'll BRB.
All right, I guess it's my podcast now.
No, I need to get something.
Go sit your ass down.
I forgot what I needed.
Waxy.
But I needed to get something.
Let's waxy, bro.
I forgot what I needed.
It's fine.
I know what I needed.
Oh. How do I change the camera so my legs aren't there? It's so weird. Hi, guys.
Hi, Reina.
I'm just taking his place while he's gone.
Is he applying the wax to his leg right now?
Hell no, I'm applying the wax to his legs.
Oh, do you think you're going to take a certain amount of pleasure from this, like putting him in pain?
I can't fucking wait.
Yes, I like that.
I want it to hurt. I do.
And
I love you too, Ziggs. I miss you guys. I never show my face on his stream, so you can tell that I like miss everybody. These are my Grundy shorts. They're my Grundy. How do I even? How does he have this? There it is. Can you see? Hold on. Boom, baby. Grundy.
Hell yeah.
Above the knees. I feel like this meat right here, I don't even know how to show you the meat. I feel like the meat's gonna hurt, so I want to go there. But I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you ever waxed your legs?
Yeah. Strangely.
It's not strange. I just, I asked it like it was a normal question, so I want a normal answer.
Oh, I mean, I'm a very hairy person, and I remember it was just with some friends when we were 16.
Do you have taco meat showing right now?
Of course, I always have taco meat showing.
Okay, I guess I never know. I guess I never paid attention.
The hell's wrong with you,
so go back and so since you've waxed your legs before, what's the way to make this the most entertaining and the least enjoyable for him?
Cover as much surface.
So
Okay. Thank you, MD. You sit down. I'm getting tips.
Wait.
Cover a lot of surface and rip it off extraordinarily slow. I think.
What the fuck?
We gotta do one that way.
I'm sorry. She asked.
It doesn't mean you answer.
We're having an honest adult conversation here, okay?
An honest adult.
And taco meat. Somebody asked. Taco meat is the like little chest hairs like here, and some guys have straight, some guys have curly. It's it's all different.
My little calves.
All right, sit down, pretty boy. Let's get you in the chair.
Do you want to put on this other one since it's longer?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You're goddamn right. You're fine.
Oh, I wish I would have brought the drum throne though. It's okay.
Here.
Oh yeah. That'll work. Thank you. Alcohol.
Alcohol in the house. Here, why don't you put these on?
Oh no, I like my headphones.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Though.
Oh no, I like my headphones.
I do. Look, you guys. I brought in a Mr. Fizzy to celebrate. I'm so excited.
Do you know? I went and got this light. That's not doing.
Oh, look at that! I've never seen my legs on screen before like this. Hey, leg.
Put a stick between your teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, put a dick between my teeth. What?
Put a stick
mean-
between your teeth. No, don't you guys want to hear the screams?
No.
I've never waxed anybody, not even myself. I've been waxed, but I've never.
So this is
waxed.
the cooling. Wait, there's like
We're
cooling
bumping
thing.
knees.
Okay, why don't
No,
you
that's
move a little?
TOS, that's
I need you to move a little. Yeah.
Gordo, you're gonna get me in trouble here. Ziggy, I'm
TOS.
so glad you're here. I should have let everybody know in the Discord that I was gonna be torturing English. What was I thinking? Should I read the directions?
Hey, did you guys know that? I just found out that spreading your toes is sexy to some people.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I would love to get paid for that. I would spread my toes so good. Are you kidding me?
Yo, spread your toes and then step on cakes and film it. Like
Oh, that's
a
the
real.
thing. That's the
that's
thing, isn't it?
That's a
Chocolate
thing.
cake. I would want to do all the textures and really like.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
marble, like a nice marble cake?
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Do it.
Do you guys remember cake farts?
I think I will.
Did you ever see cake
Yes.
farts?
Yes.
That was-
That's a related kink right there.
Yeah.
It's
Dude, cake farts that was such an awesome video, and it was like one of those first like
Is
viral
your skin
videos.
clean and dry and free of oils and moisturizers?
Yes.
Okay. Is it? No. If using NADs, are we using the extra? No, we're not using exfoliating.
No, we're just going for it.
Slowly
Now,
separate
is
double
that-
strips.
Here, why don't you not say
Apply
it out
the
loud?
strip with pressure.
I'm trying to maintain a
firmly.
conversation
They
here.
don't you guys like? Do you guys read directions? I like reading.
No, it
directions.
just says rub and
I
go,
spread
baby. Let's
anything
go.
from the right
rub
price.
and go. That
Rub
sounds.
and go. That's how I do
Exaggerate.
things.
Yeah, that
You guys-
ripping and tearing.
Okay.
Ripping. We're trying to talk about
Well-
cake farts here, and you're just reading directions. Like I don't know what.
It's like,
We are but sluts. Wobs.
should I have admitted that I knew what cake fart? I like immediately said I knew what cake farts was.
You did.
It's like I feel like I should have like been like, oh, what's that?
You really did.
But-
You're-
and then been like, oh yeah. Nah, hell no.
I don't know about
Keep
that.
it 100. Mike has had me watch all kinds of crazy shit with him.
It's true.
So,
2 girls, 1 cup.
I didn't see that one, thankfully.
I've never heard of that. There we go.
These are the
Nailed it.
classics. These are the classics.
Oh, okay, Ziggs. I'll rub slow then.
I rubbed.
It says you're
I rubbed
supposed
it
to-
in your Discord. Is
It
what I
says
just
you're
said.
supposed to rub them. And...
Here, I'll rub some too.
No. Let me rub one at a time. Ooh.
All this
You can
rubbing.
do upper lip and chin and
Get out.
underarms.
We're not
Let me do
doing
your
upper lip.
thigh.
Yeah, the inner thigh up near the camel toe is like where it's really gonna hurt.
I
That
prefer.
is what I
prefer
want.
moose knuckle.
Sorry.
Back of the
Moose knuckle.
knee.
That carpet though.
Fenwa, how did you start with music? Pepe wants to know.
Oh, hey
Oh.
Pepe.
Because we heard the evolution, but like, what got you into it?
I started playing the violin in 2nd grade, and in 3rd grade I joined choir. And yeah, but music's always been in my family. My great uncle was a lounge singer of a 12-piece band, and in St. Louis for up until he was 93 years old. So there's always been somebody in my family who's a working musician, and I don't typically care about like, legacies or whatever, but it's a legacy I'm like strangely proud to keep going.
Hell yeah,
And
you
yeah.
should be proud of that. What instrument, lift this leg up, Tootsie Roll. What instrument gets you like
Well, you
the
gotta, like-
most excited?
When I'm playing it or when somebody else is?
Ooh, good, like double back. Both. I want to know both now.
If I'm alone in like a an Art Deco style hotel lobby, and like it's late at night, and I see a grand piano. I can't read piano music. I play by ear, but it's like I'll jump on that shit
Okay.
so fast. And really, it's like when it comes to other people. Oh yeah, there it is.
Fuck, bro!
Hell yeah.
You didn't even tell me you were gonna do
hell
it.
Yeah.
You didn't even fucking tell me. Why didn't you at least tell me what you were gonna do?
Because there's no fun in that. I'm listening to Fenwa, excuse me. Please continue. Grand pianos.
And when it's other people, it depends, because I wouldn't say there's like any one thing, but when you see somebody that's a master of their craft, who's also
Yes.
passionate about it, and you
Hell
know they
yes.
are, nothing beats that. Whether it's some of the solo performances and concerts I've seen, especially back in like undergrad, I went to a school with a lot of music majors, which was always made me a little sad because I was like, I want to do what they're doing. But like, if somebody's superb on the violin or cello, sometimes like that's the most beautiful thing in the world. So, but yeah, it depends. It depends. And, I'm a guitar person for the most part, but I'm little more reserved on that scream. You could tell he was trying to hold it in.
I waited until he relaxed because he was like flinching, like getting prepared for it, and then he dropped his shoulders. Boom. Coming. You guys,
I
it
didn't
is
want to interrupt
so-
his name.
It is so smooth. So it's interesting
Interrupt his
because
story.
you're mentioning a lot more of like the instruments that would appeal to like a classical nature. So are you more inclined to listen to classical music?
I mean, once again, it depends. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is Appalachian Spring by Aaron Copland. It's a beautiful American romantic era classical piece. But
Okay.
when I'm like I love new wave and synthwave. Yeah, but I also love.
Do you
I
like
don't know.
Time Cop 1983?
Fuck yeah.
Dude, fucking
'Cause-
Com Trues. Ooh,
Yeah.
Guys, his
Because
palms are so sweaty.
they are. They're gross. I'm fucking. This
Knees
is fucking
weak.
sucks, dude. This fucking sucks.
I also love music from the 30s and 40s, old soul and
Like
jazz.
Benny Goodman and Glenn Miller, or Ella Fitzgerald, and
Yeah.
I don't know
Peggy
which
Lee,
way-
Billie Holiday.
I gotta figure out which way the hair is growing.
Was
Look,
that
if
so you-
somebody drops 5 subs right now, I'll write your name on one of these wax strips,
stupid
and
Oh.
you can dedicate the pain to you
Peggy
because
Lee.
I'm hype right
Yes.
now. Okay, watch out.
Oh my gosh, you are doing the inner thigh. Oh.
You guys ready? Look
boy.
at that. Look at
Oh boy. Oh, and slapping
This is
it. I
gonna
mein,
be-
is this against TOS? Because this is
This
getting
can't
I'm
like
be
covering my
against you.
moose knuckle.
this is like 1999 Cinemax. It's 138.
Hey,
in my
come
conscience.
on!
Oh. Yeah.
I think snot came out my nose. I have to. I'll be right back.
Why do you guys do this? Why
I
do
don't
you
even know
guys
how to show
fucking
you
do
guys
this
that.
for real?
Damn it! Your lights are too bright.
I
Hold on.
love that.
I gotta put the light down real quick. Look at that.
That's gross.
Look.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll be right back.
might as well do the whole thing now, like the whole body, and just have a great weekend. I think. It's like, go buy some Vaseline.
This is fucking ridiculous. I don't understand how anybody of any gender would ever want to do this to be sexy or to be smooth. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is not how you do it, friends.
Well, yeah. We live in an era now where people are a lot more open and honest about.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
Well, Ziggy just.
Are you fucking serious, Ziggy?
Reina!
Reina!
What did I do?
What did you say you were going to do for 5 subs? Because Ziggy thinks it's cute.
Let's fucking go.
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you very much. I appreciate
go,
you.
Ziggy, hold on. Hold
This
on.
is for you, Ziggy. Let me give Ziggy some love here. Hold
Hold the
on.
phone. Here, let me get this one out of the way.
We
because I
Speak English
can't
Good
write a- I
TV.
can't write a name
I'm
on
your
it. Oh, we're
announcer,
not-
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now,
that's
please,
pink meat,
put your
you guys.
fists in the air.
Let's
Wave
stick it
them
here. This
like you
one's
do not
already
care.
exposed, so
For
I
your
can
host,
write on it, and
Mike
then
EP.
I'll write on the next
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
Do you have a special quote or a saying that you would like on yours, Ziggy? Please let me know.
Do you want me to mail it to you as well?
Ew. Oh, somebody might be into that. I'm not gonna kink shame.
Wait a second. Is that TOS mailing body hair? Because I know
can
you can't sell jars of farts. I know
Oh, you
that.
can't?
You hell
So
no.
the era of toxic gamer girl water is over.
Ready?
What does that mean? You didn't even do it fast.
Well, that's because I asked about it beforehand and I had to do one slow.
Oh,
I had to. I'm sorry.
oh. You fucking did that
This is so much fun. This is so
Yes.
much fun.
I knew you were gonna fucking
Okay,
love this.
let me get a Sharpie.
I knew you were gonna be like, yeah. I bet she's fucking drenched. She's fucking soaked right now, dude. She left a mark on this seat, y'all. Fucking left a wet spot. Fuck. God.
My goodness. Oh.
I don't know how long this is gonna take. I'm sorry, Fenwa. I'm not.
Oh, it's
I really
okay.
wanted to. We're having a conversation.
Pain is not my pleasure, okay? So don't be lying to everybody.
I'm not lying to
These
anyone.
are thick shorts. If I was excited through these shorts, it had to be something for more than a leg wax. But Saucy wants to do one, so Ziggy, Saucy is gonna do yours. Anybody else want to get it on this?
You want me to do this?
No, nobody needs to get in on this.
Ziggy, should we do something?
The
else
endorphins
besides
should
his
have
legs?
kicked
Should we
in
do
by
his
now.
back or something?
Ooh.
No, we're not doing the back. It's legs. It's
you
legs.
have a-
Let's do thighs.
I had a
already
rough
did
week.
that.
Give me some anger management.
Let's get some more.
Ooh, okay.
Let's get
Who had a
some
rough
more.
week? Oh,
Let's get more thigh. More thigh.
Sometimes it's like
okay. Hold on. You
You
can keep it to yourself.
get
I want to ask a question. Did you so what's your strongest instrument then? It seems like you're multi-instrumentalist. So what's your strongest?
Oh, definitely guitar. I mean, I used to play the trumpet. I haven't played a trumpet in, I don't even know, 18 years. I haven't played a violin in like 20 years. So sometimes it's like you get on my
really
last nerves, so I really a blunt and say, shut the fuck up. Oh, wait. Sorry for saying that in front of your child. Small one.
Oh,
Apologies.
he hears like the worst awful things that ever come out of a human's mouth
Or
ever.
just happy to be waxed.
I'm not.
Look how smooth your legs are. I have
They are
never,
smooth. They are
I have
smooth.
never seen your legs without wax.
You mean with?
Okay, or
This
without
thing
without
is
hair.
Weird.
Now
If
you're going to have
you
to wax
had-
she's going to wax your legs all the time now.
I send
Get
this
ready.
live for Swedish bloopers right now.
Watch out,
What do you
watch out.
want to say about
So I
that? Just
gotta rub
here.
it
This is
to
for
get
your
it more.
bloopers. This is for Swedish bloopers. Hold on. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, Fenwa. God. There we go. Hold on. Here's for the bloopers. Don't let your community dictate your life.
That's a solid
so
woo.
here's how this works.
It's a
So
solid. It is a solid.
Let's go
move.
right here. This
Yeah,
is a
that's-
nice
that's a
spot.
nice
No, we
spot.
gotta go where Ziggy can. Oh yeah, she can see it like that. That's perfect.
Do you know the
This
secret
is
of a Ric Flair
sponsored
chest
leg
chop?
hair right
What
here.
is the secret of a Ric Flair chest chop?
The secret is when you're
Okay.
going in, you
Hold on,
flip
hold on,
it
'cause this wax
to
is
palm
messy.
side right at the last second, so you get that big old slap sound. That's the secret right there.
Oh, I see. So like when you're hitting someone's chest in the ring, it gives it that.
And secret number 2 is to hit your thigh at the same time. We all know that.
Okay,
And
hold on,
stomp,
I gotta
right?
give
The
you how to do
timing.
it.
He's
Okay,
ripped
so-
off.
But you rip up and
And fast and very fast.
well,
No.
we'll
Or
see how
slow.
he does. We'll see
Very
how
slow.
Very fast,
Silent.
fast, fast.
Okay.
Oh, that was so slow. Oh, yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh no! Oh, you're done. You're done. You didn't.
It didn't even rip the hair out. It just got wax on the hair.
Oh my.
I swear to God, it didn't even rip hair out. It just hurt. It just fucking hurt.
I just wanted to cause pain.
Okay,
hold on,
you're
let me-
out of
let me
here.
fix
Get
it,
out.
let me fix it.
Get out. You're outta
That's
here.
the way you do it
I
right
hope
there.
you didn't ruin that one for us, because you might have a sticky hair patch there. All right.
Do over on the same spot.
Well, I have to get the hair. I can't leave it. How? Wait. Just on a scale of 1 to 10, where does this fall in line?
I don't know.
On a
Just
scale of
fucking do it.
on a scale
She's
of
she's
1
enjoying
to
rubbing your
fingering
leg
butthole
too
for the
much.
first
I
time.
Look at that.
I like it too. This is very nice.
Oh.
He kind
Yeah.
of. I tell you what, Saucy kind of fucked you
Oh.
up that part. Yeah, because look, that's stuck
Dude,
here.
that's
Hold
not
on.
even come up.
Let me
No,
see if
no,
I
no,
can get it. I
no,
have to
no,
see if
no,
I
no.
can get it.
Ugh.
You can't leave it.
God.
Oh my god, I'm like a real waxer. I'm doing this. Right. Hold on, I need the light. I'm like legit going back
oh
and
my.
fixing spots.
No. Okay. Oh,
Do
would
you
you
guys
rather?
see me doing it? I'm doing like the quick rinse.
All right. Hold on. I gotta get a would you rather. Okay. Why don't we take a break?
Well, I just gotta get the. You gotta please
Let me
my
take a
spot.
break.
Hold on.
We'll take a break so it's not just Fenwa watching you torture me. Like this is some kind of weird fucking porn or something. Like fucking
You want to come on my
torture porn.
podcast and watch me
I
in
don't think you should
pain?
put like. I don't think you should put sexual
Yeah.
implications on her.
This is fucking torture porn. Fucking come on.
Well, I mean,
Here,
Hellraiser's
hold on.
coming
This
out
isn't
soon,
a
so
I knew that, and they did a remake.
Post wax calming strip, so we're not going to be able to wax this area. But I think, like, see how this one has goose pimples,
Yeah.
and the rest of them don't. I think he kind of fucked you. You might have bubbles there.
All right.
Well, I calmed it.
Thank you. It's very calm, and we
Should
gotta.
we do more?
No, we'll do it a little bit later. Okay. Let's do a let me talk to Fenwa for a little bit, and then we'll calm back in. I need a break. Okay.
This was amazing. Hey, I don't really care for your guys' community names, but I would really like to honor the butt sluts.
You're
right
a
now.
part of the community.
I never agreed to that name though. So
It's too
butt
late.
sluts. I just want to tell you that this was probably the greatest sub-a-thon thing that I've ever been a part of. So thank you. I'm honored.
He is so owned.
You guys are beautiful.
Pepe. Now we
Go
need.
butt sluts. Moving touch. Man.
Now we need another drum set up here. We need
Will
like
you,
4 drum sets up here.
Will you open the door for me though, please?
Oh yeah.
Because this
All right,
is-
hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring the would you
Fenwa, it was
rather's.
so nice to talk to you.
She'll be
Absolutely.
back.
Bye, Reina.
Mwah. Bye.
Oh, where's the would you rather?
And so, Chad, it's just us again. Hi.
Hold
you
on,
doing?
guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the would you rather. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I'm not finding the would you rather card, so I know what we can do because Google is the shit. Okay.
It is.
What are you gonna say to my public? We speak about your owned. Listen. As soon as I married that woman, it was over for me. Okay, so I've been owned for like 13 years, bro. So it's nothing new here. Nothing new here.
Well, it's probably an easy transition since you worked for her, right?
I did.
Kind of.
I did. I did a lot. I did a lot.
So you're still under her, so to say.
I am.
Anyway.
Okay, so we're gonna do some would you rather's, and to honor this, I'm sorry I don't have my cards. I don't know what happened to
all
them. You rather? All right. Would you rather? Hold on. Filthy edition, because we're gonna keep it filth. Keep it filth. 60 dirty would you rathers. Let's go. Oh, hey, Moving Dutchman, thank you so much for gift subbing Sully. And of course, Moving Dutchman, we haven't done this yet, but hold on. Here we go. Oh, I turned off the thing. Sorry, Moving Dutchman, I turned off the alerts, but there you go. Okay, here we go. That don't. Well, okay. Would you rather, Fenwa? Would you rather go to the grocery store in your underwear, or go to the beach nude? That's not very good.
Well, I Well, I guess since like going to a grocery store in your underwear would get you arrested, I guess I would go to a nude beach nude and feel very insecure the entire time and not enjoy myself. And be
That sounds right. Butt slut. Who is butt slut? Who is butt slut? Get out of here with that. Who made butt slut?
nothing wrong with that.
Matt Suarez Music. Welcome in, my friend. Matt, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for that sub. Moving Dutchman, thank you so much for keep subbing butt slut. How dare all you? Oh my God. We got a would you rather from Reina. And thank you guys so much for those subs. And Mighty, good to see you. Welcome in. I don't know if you've been here for a while, but this has been madness and wildness going on. Let me give you guys something for those subs real quick here.
Welcome.
There we go.
You Speak English
Classic.
Good TV.
Classic.
I'm your announcer, Sir Ian McKellen. Now, please, put your hands together for your host with the most, Mike E.P.
Thank you, Ian. So would you rather have nipples for toes or toes for nipples?
Oh, fuck. Both are terrible. Because I want to be able to walk around, I guess, toes for nipples. And once again, I'd be very insecure about that too. And to answer the question from the chat, I have a very long relationship. It's very sordid with Mothman. It's very sensual and intimate. So obviously, I'd rather wax Mothman because, then we would get busy and it'd be some like smooth flying fun. And now I'm thinking about Mothman all smoothie. It's
A Mothman smoothie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not that. I don't want to drink I mean,
Kugel's Mothman. That's an Ohio thing, right? That's an Ohio thing. The Mothman, right?
Appalachian cryptid, and
I thought
the
it was-
most famous sighting is in West Virginia at a place called Point Pleasant, and that's actually where the movie is set with Richard Gere.
Point Pleasant, Southeast Ohio, Northwest, West Virginia.
Yeah, because I mean, the Appalachian Mountains do poke into Ohio a little bit, don't they?
Yeah. I did see that Richard Gere thing. What do you know about the Mothman? Do you really have an obsession with the Mothman? I mean, I'm not saying you're in love with them or anything, but like, did you really? Did you really like? Have you gone deep into the Mothman?
I do have a doo-wop love song called "Mothman Take My Hand," and it's about to be blunt, banging the Mothman. But so Fallout 76 was the latest installment of the Fallout video game franchise from Bethesda, and it's set in West Virginia. So one of the things about that franchise that I always love is that they put real life things into the game from where it's set, and so for this game, which is kind of an MMO light, they decided to put in various cryptids. So, there's Mothman is just one of them. There's some other ones that are kind of based on real life things. Like instead of a Sasquatch, there's a sheep squatch, and there's also in West Virginia this lore and mythology about an alien called the Flatwoods Monster, and yeah. So that's in the game. All sorts of cryptids are in the game. It's a lot of fun.
See the Flatwood Monster?
Yeah, Flatwood Monster. Speaking of, you could use a flat wood to pick your teeth, like you were saying earlier,
Wait.
because it needs to be thin.
Oh my God, my brain. I'm sorry. What happened? Are you talking about toothpicks? Like what?
Well, earlier you mentioned using a phallus to pick your teeth, and I thought to myself, it would have to be quite thin for that to work. So a Flatwood Monster, maybe.
I see now. I
Yeah.
see now what's happening. It's folklore, Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia. Flatwoods
Yes.
Monster. This is a new one. This is a new one for me. Hold on, we can. Oh wait, no, we can't. It's not set up. Okay, I'll just read a little bit of this so everyone kind of. And I suck at reading, so have fun with that. At 7:15 on September 12th, 1952, two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their friend Tommy Heyer, said they saw a bright object across the sky and land on the property of local farmer G. Bailey Fisher. The boys went to the home of Kathleen May, where they told their story. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. That just sounds horrible. Anyways, the Flatwood Monster. But like, it's like I want you guys to see a picture of it, but it's like weird.
The artist renderings are pretty cool. And
Hold on, let me kill this, and then I'll bring this. Wherever the fuck it is. Is this it? Oh, no, that's definitely not it. There we go. All right, so this is what Wikipedia has.
yeah.
Is that what it's supposed to look like? I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. That's like the classic
look, they even
rendition.
give you like scale. It's like, here's one human and here's the monster. Dude.
But how many bananas is it? I think is the real question.
How many bananas?
Yeah, that's the stand.
How many bananas? How many nickels comparatively? Let me see. Search for. Yeah, I will. That's exactly what I was about to do. Atomic Lady, because now it's over. Now we're just looking up.
Yeah, cryptid. You know, the thing about the very definition of what is a cryptid, creature of myth, but you know, there are a lot of people out there, same with anything supernatural, who believe in Mothman, who try to go. And in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, they actually have an official Mothman museum. Yeah, sorry, I feel like I don't see it. Are we still live?
Oh, are we? Are we live?
Oh no.
Our frames dropping because like my shit is eating. My shit is eating all kinds of shit right now. So chat, how is everything coming through? Is it coming through all choppy and shitty, or did we all freeze? Let me know. Can you hear me? Oh, here it is. I'm back.
Okay.
It's just my system saying "fuck you."
Oh, we've all been there.
Oh, yes. This whole thing. I want to visit Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, I'm with that. I hear audio. I'm losing you guys. Twitch is freaking. Video is dropping. I got studio. Windows update. Choppy. Yes, you're live, but frozen. Are we still frozen? We back. Okay, we back. All
right.
Yeah, that was good. Can hear you. You're
We
back.
finally back.
Freeze, but you can hear. Oh, god damn it.
All
right, guys,
I can see us on stream.
So we're just gonna bear through this, guys, and we're just gonna kind of get into this because I do want to read a little bit about the Mothman because I've seen the movie. Right, the movie's pretty fun. Did you like the movie? Did you?
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. The what is Mothman? Is it a giant mutated moth? I don't know.
Yeah, the NSA got pissed at us. CIA was like, bro, can't be talking about Mothman and shit. It's not happening. Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in moving Dutchman redeemed to woo. That came through, but the sound didn't. Mothman is because I turned it off. Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 15th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. So for a year, the Mothman was being seen. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16, 1966, titled "Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something." That's a very interesting headline because it's odd. Meet Popsicle, welcome. Thank you for being here.
That's my brother.
Oh, hi, bro. Hello, brother. Meet Popsicle. That's a great name. Also, Mothman is inhuman. It should be. Mighty, thank you so much for that gifted sub. And Mighty, this is for you. Monty, hey. That was a mighty, mighty classic, everybody. Okay. So thank you again, and thank you for that follow, Meat Popsicle. I appreciate you. This is great. This is just exactly what I want to know. Okay, so for 1 year, this thing terrorized Point Pleasant. And the Mothman was introduced to a wider audience by Gary Barker in 1970 and was later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there were supernatural events related to the sightings connection to a collapse of the Silver Bridge. The book was later adapted in 2002 film starring Richard Gere. And then there's an annual festival for the Mothman.
Yeah, which just happened recently, and
Nice.
the statue of Mothman like is in the middle of this town, and really, it's like you haven't been there unless you take a photo of yourself touching the butt, because it is. Speaking of butt sluts, Mothman statue has like the most exquisite butt of any statue you've ever seen. It's the truth.
It's like a nice, solid rump. I love that.
It's like, damn, Mothman, you don't skip leg day.
Hey,
fuck, like,
let's go.
yeah,
Let's
Mothman
go.
fucks.
Mothman fucks.
It's true.
What was the other one that you guys were talking about earlier?
Well,
Would they
there in Fallout 76, there's also Wendigos. There's also a creature called the Grafton Monster that is based off of a real cryptid. Speaking of moose knuckles, it looks like a giant walking moose knuckle. So
Grafting.
Grafton, like O-N.
Oh, Grafton.
Grafton Monster.
Monster
Yeah,
of
there
Taylor
it is.
County. Oh, there's like a whole thing.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I don't want to. Okay, whatever.
Which
What do I do?
one do I choose?
There's just too much choice in this world. Okay, so let's get into this.
Wow.
The Cleo Grafton Monster fandom.
Yeah, I mean, the cryptid community is vast.
I didn't know
Especially
that.
with social media. Yeah, there's like entire convention circuits about cryptids being the main focus.
I have heard like Swashquack. What? Okay, Sasquatch festivals and stuff, but I've never heard of like just all of the fest. Like just put them all in one room and we'll just go for it and just have it out. Like that. That's fun. Okay, so the Grafton Monster, also known as the Beast of Grafton, is a large humanoid cryptid that's said to stalk the forest outside the town of Grafton, West Virginia, a former railroad boomtown located in the United States. It was originally sighted in 1964 by Robert Cockrell. Well, he's telling the truth with a name like Cockrell, who worked as a reporter for the Grafton Sentinel. According to Cockrell, the monster was huge, had no visible head, and had slick seal-like skin. His account was dismissed by the editors at his work, but news of the monster soon gained popularity throughout West Virginia, leading to large search parties aimed at finding the creature. Today, the monster is still a popular cryptid in the area, and Grafton is a tourist stop for cryptid enthusiasts. So there it is.
Yeah.
Wow. I just, how do these myths get started and like keep going when there's no real solid proof? Like, how does that happen? Like,
Yeah. It's humans have a propensity to believe in the fantastical.
Right.
We always have. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is how mundane day-to-day life truly is. Like, unless you're looking at the internet all the time and being like, holy shit. But if you think about it, and if you look up in your town you're in right now, there's, I guarantee, some mythology about a cryptid that's from your town or near it. There always is. And it always starts the same, I imagine they leave out most of the time that it's like, how many times do you think people are just blasted on something, are just fucking rolling and out of their damn minds and are just like, oh shit, dude. Like, bro, did you see that? Like, And if it's anything, usually it's probably a bear or a wolf or one of the many different creatures of the natural order. But I just think it's one of those things that it's nice to believe that there's more out there than what we see day to day or what we can tangibly experience. And because it's like, even with everything we have now, it's like I keep saying, you really think with every bit of technology at people's disposal that, you know, it's really hard for me to believe that any cryptid is out there, because where are they?
Right.
You tell me nobody's been able to. There.
Right.
So
Yeah, the Jersey Devil. Yeah, that is another one, huh? No, yeah, you're right. It's like with if we can capture like the rarest fish coming up for air, or whales in the world. Like I just saw like. Or like we discover new sea creatures all the time because we have phones now, and we can just like, it's not just hearsay and stuff. It's not just like, oh, I swear I was out in the open seas and I saw a monster the size of fucking, Atlantis or whatever. So it's it is like that thing where we now we have these phones, and now we have everybody has this way of capturing reality in their pocket, and to sit here and be like, it exists, Sasquatch exists, and we have tons of people out there trying to find them, and blah 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 blah, but yet no one's ever found a picture. I remember hearing like an interview from Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of saying that same thing. He's like, we can capture 4K video with our phones. He's like, you're telling me that the only evidence we get is just like these little specks flying across the sky, and like, because he's very much against the idea, or not against the idea, but he doesn't think that these UFOs are extraterrestrial, or he doesn't think that there's much of it in fact. But
yeah, and that's always one of my measuring like points, is that as soon as Neil is saying something's real, then I'll actually be like, oh, okay. So because I'm a skeptic, I'm a scientist. I need observable proof.
Right.
And I need it to be repeated and reliable, and especially repeated by people who don't believe in it.
We just crashed and now we're back on. So hey, that's awesome. We're winning, I guess.
Tiger blood.
Tiger blood winning. All right.
I miss extremely coked out Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
he was like, oh man, like he was one of those, like everybody, he was able to do all this horrible things, and people still like rallied around him for some reason. Like people still like him. Like
that is, in a nutshell, white male privilege meets celebrity status.
There you go. You could do coke, and I think he has HIV. Didn't he give somebody HIV or something?
What?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me not spread fake information.
I was like, hold on.
Hold on. Charlie Sheen.
I mean, he has to at least have crabs. I mean,
disease.
Or
Sheen learned that he was HIV positive in 2011 and publicly revealed it on the Today Show. He gave an update on the program on June 21st, 2016. The plaintiff is identified only as Jane Doe. Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, so Charlie was sued for exposing his ex-girlfriend here. So no one thinks I'm a big fatty liar. Oh, god damn it. And now look at what's happening now.
Some and one but.
Yeah, we're back. Okay, hold on. Let me get this. Let me turn this off and turn on my my monitor. But not that one. Wait, is it that one? Yes, that one. Okay. So there we go. Here it's in Variety.
Oh, really? I had no idea he was HIV positive.
And he gave it to people. He's a real class act. Don't you miss this, Fenwa? Don't you miss Charlie Sheen spreading AIDS to the world? All cooked up.
My goodness. Damn.
It's not funny, everybody. It's terrible.
Right. It's like I didn't even like, that's the strange thing. It's like something like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he was able to sort of do all these things under the radar and not get canceled. And if you notice, I mean, we're talking about times that are like 2015, 2016 here. So, like, that is like right before the world lost their fucking mind. And that also correlates, interestingly enough, with the election of Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, dude.
So the world went
Yeah.
fucking crazy, and then that's when things really stepped up, I think.
Oh yeah, it's like we won't be satisfied until we literally destroy everything. So yeah, that's when it felt like it started. Because I mean, you mentioned some things from when we were younger. Because I feel like we're probably around the same age.
I think so, yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, people still ran on the platform of leaving the world better for their grandchildren. And we were fucking saving the rainforest as kids and like buying acres of land with fundraisers to preserve,
Yeah.
which all that shit got sold, by the way.
Did it really?
Oh yeah, it all got sold, dude.
No
It
one
all
preserved
did.
shit. All that money was wasted. Your parents wasted their money.
But it's wild because, I don't know what people's politics are out there. I'll try not to be offensive, but when Trump got elected, you got to see what a lot of people really thought. And it was that moment where I committed what I called, this doesn't sound very PC out loud, but I called it Facebook genocide when I got rid of I don't know, maybe 1,000 people I was friends with. Because like, holy shit, this is what you think? All right, then.
Yeah.
Goodbye forever. And I deactivated my social medias for like 3.5 years until we got close to that next cycle. And I was like, okay, here we fucking go. Because anyway.
Oh, we don't know. I mean, for real though, like it did in those years. Like, I really had to shift focus on how I utilized social media, because there was moments where I'm just like, no, you're a fucking idiot. Fuck you. Typing away all feverishly. Hours of your day go by. It's so stupid because, you're arguing with fucking people who you perceive to be dumbasses because they don't think the way you think. And just so we're clear, I was not in favor of Donald Trump. But I don't care if you are, like, honestly, because what sucks is that what sucks about the whole Donald Trump thing is that we have demonized Donald Trump, rightfully so, but also the people who saw something in him that was more than just like the bullshit mouth running constantly and constantly, insulting people and saying horrible things. And what it did was it classified everybody as a they or a them. You know what I mean? Like, it classified as like it Trump supporter, anti-vaxxer. It really started the division. And it sucks because I know plenty of people who voted for Trump who are fucking amazing human beings and who I would never stop talking to because they saw something in him. They saw like a populist message in him, which can be popular, as they say. But please, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's one of those things. His campaign was based around polarization, like Primordial Sounds is saying. That's what it was for that was his strategy he had. And I knew a lot of people in my family, even extended family, that were like, well, he's a good businessman. I'm like, actually, no, he's not. He lost his fortune 3 times. He got bailed out by the U.S. government 3 times, and he was born with over $1 billion fucking dollars.
Right.
Okay.
Right, he's not
Dude's
good.
a fucking moron. No offense, anybody. But that's what they thought. They thought he was going to usher in a new golden age of American economy. That didn't happen. But the interesting thing is, right, it's like you're saying, the futility of online political discourse has never been so poignant as during his term of office and the last election. Because that's the wild thing. You think you have a sound, rational reason for why you don't like him. The other 50%, they think the exact same thing. They think you're the idiot. And that's the tragedy of it, is that people are so easily manipulated right now in this part of human history through social media, through various media mechanisms, which is tragic because the fourth estate, the news, are supposed to be unbiased, objective, and they're supposed to be working for us, the people. And we've seen it more now than ever that it's like you can be bought in so many ways now. And with the introduction of the super PAC. So do you remember when Stephen Colbert was going to run as the Doritos presidential candidate?
Oh yeah, wasn't it like a super PAC? Wasn't it like some ridiculous name he called it?
This was before the super PAC, so he knew he couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
He knew that eventually he would have to bow out. But the next election, he could have. He could have ran as the Dorito candidate. Doritos could have funded his whole goddamn campaign and been like, hey, by the way, if you want us to fund your campaign, you got to make the most pro-Dorito fucking laws of the land ever. And it would have been all kosher. Right. And that's what we see now is whether we're talking about local, state, federal elections. There's misinformation on every side. And people are so susceptible to it now. It's tragic. I used to actually teach research methods. So it's like knowing how I can tell people like, no, dude, you got to like source check. You got to fact check. And here's where you go. But I know a lot of people be like, I'm not going to that fucking liberal website. I'm like, it's a science journal, you know, like
that fucking liberal.
And that's a tragedy right now. And I don't know. And a lot of people are working nonstop to try to figure out how do we move forward as a world and become a more rational, compassionate species right now. It's a head scratcher, and I know it keeps a lot of us up at night. It keeps me up at night sometimes because we live in a very fucked up time. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? It's like alien invasions, that's scary. But how about the fact that we have enough? I mean, we all know the nuclear arms race and what that did and how much of that is still here and how many people now have capabilities of intercontinental fucking ballistic missiles. It's a scary time to be alive if you let it get to you. And it's funny because that's why I went to music, because I was looking at the state of the world, the way it made me feel. I felt hopeless and helpless, like I couldn't do anything. And in a very real way, I said, you know what? If the world's ending in 30 years, which probably is going to happen, it's like, I need to do something I love, and I need to like try to spread a little bit of positivity if I can. And that's usually what I always try to do on my streams is like, the world's fucked up, but we have each other. We have a lot of beautiful things. There's still art. There's still love. There's still music. And there's still pets. There's cats and their little toe beans. Yeah. So it's like, there are things to look at and to see not just a silver lining, but there are a lot of things to enjoy in this life and to treasure and to hold on to as long as you can.
Yeah, I agree. Whoa, Samo, Samo Honey Boy wants 2 woo stickers. You greedy little boy, you. What's up, Samo? Welcome in. Jennifer, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, yeah, man, it's getting to that point now where we're I mean, you've seen what we're talking about like right now, like we're talking about Putin is on world TV landscape where he is saying, hey, don't push me any further because I will, and don't forget I'm sitting on the world's largest nuclear arms ever in the history of world. So and I don't think he's bluffing. And I think that it's really interesting that we're taking the steps we are taking and sort of encroaching on a country like Russia, without any sort of, care in the world. And I mean, there's so much more deeper we could get into this, but I'm not trying to make this into geopolitics. But it's just that we're at this precipice now where it's like this is a real thing. Like in the 70s, I know it was like a real thing too, but like we thought that was over, right? Like the world thought we were beyond this. And then all of a sudden, here we are again. So it's just like there's never a time where we can sort of let our guards down. There's never a time where we're going to be able to sort of, breathe.
Hypervigilance is the term for it. And we've been in a state of hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Like you kind of mentioned, for Americans, probably since 9/11. For people in Europe, their whole goddamn lives.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
and elsewhere in the world, it's like every day. And that's one of those things that if you let that control your life, holy shit, it's overwhelming. And I know it's overwhelmed me many times, but it's like trying to find the ways to escape that and not ignore it, but to handle it in a healthy way that doesn't destroy your mental health. Because like, damn, it's speaking of Putin, you would have really liked the Guar concert.
Oh yeah. How was the Gore concert? How is the new singer? She looks pretty badass.
Oh, they didn't have her out there.
Really? That's so weird.
Yeah.
I thought, or was she just sort of like a thing they did once and that was it, or did they actually have a new singer who's a female?
But to answer Jenny, it's like, yeah, in America, it's like some people have been in a state of hypervigilance since fucking Christopher Columbus stepped foot on this fucking country. He's such a piece of shit. Christopher Columbus is such a lie. But what were we talking about? Oh, the Guar concert. So Guar is interesting.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, fucking Christopher Columbus is a piece of shit. Oh yeah, Guar.
But Guar,
I think we can all agree that Christopher Columbus was a piece of shit.
yeah.
That's easily agreeable.
So Guar is interesting because like their whole shtick, right, is that they are aliens coming to Earth to like reignite the fires of war, to like make war happen all the time. But as people, you can tell they seem like they lean pretty far left.
Right.
But the juxtaposition of like what happens on stage, like, and the things you see, you're like, okay, what's happening? So they brought out a giant like Putin with very droopy pectoralis.
Yes.
Very like droopy and taking definitely like the sexy Putin meme that people have photoshopped to make him look just ridiculous. But like, yo, like if you know anything about Guar, you're gonna get hit with blood if you're close to the stage. And the singer has 4 penises, okay? So it's like you see some shit and you get hit with some shit. But they had this Putin out there and they just freaking like cut off his arms and then just like flayed the front of the suit and just like blood everywhere. They're just like, you're like, what? And it was a really good night. It was wild.
It was a good night.
Interesting. Like, because the whole time you're trying to like kind of guess. You're like, well, what are their politics? Because they just said this, but then they just showed that. And they also said this earlier. So like, I want to like sit down with them and be like, okay, outside of character, can you guys tell me?
Right.
Like I need to watch that freaking documentary.
I know, man. And fucking, I know that, Rob Baracchi, the original singer who passed away, he was so, I'm pretty sure they lean left because I knew some people who actually played in Guar, or toured with them for a little bit. So like he definitely leans to the left. Yeah, because like, but what's interesting is I feel like there's no real, I feel like it's kind of a fence sitter in a way, because they'll have Trump up there. They had Joe Byron up there.
Oh yeah, they had both of them in one of the songs at the same time. It was it was hard. It seems like they just hate everybody.
Yeah, I think it's
who's
just
in power.
Right. It's just which is great. I feel like we need more of those bands who are just like constantly shitting on power because that's just what because we forget that power at least in this country is supposed to work for us. And so
Right.
it's a very to see so many people just sort of roll over. I don't know, man. It's been so weird. These last 3 years have been so weird to see people like turn and just 180s. And I have super liberal friends we've been super liberal our whole life, grew up together, and now are just like conservative. And it's just like, I can't believe these trans people. And I'm like, what? How did this get here? How did we get here? Where it's like,
Yeah, it's especially baffling when those people come from, let's say, religious backgrounds that teach love and acceptance, and you're just like, what the fuck?
But that's always
Like,
been the thing, right? That's
yeah,
always been the thing where it's like even coming up as
picking
a
and choosing.
well, yeah, like conservative Christians, right? I remember coming up and being like, "You're not fucking Christian because like your values are very fucked up, and you spew hate all the time." I remember coming up in the Bush era, right? Like
Yeah.
in the Iraq too era, and that was sort of the idea, but yeah,
I mean, if you remember, George W. literally told the world that God told him to go to war.
yes.
And it's like, excuse me? Excuse me? Like,
Yes. Wow.
So-
I forgot that was a controversial thing at the time. I mean, I think again we've been so desensitized from I think from the Trump days because like every day was those kind of statements, times a million.
I was just like,
It was a tweet, it was a statement. But yeah, George Bush got up there and was like, God told me I got to do this, and by God he means Halliburton. So so that's fun. No, but it's always been a thing where it's like Christians always being hypocritical on the conservative side, and now I feel like things have changed so much that I don't know. Like I feel like liberalism has almost gotten conservative in a way where like you can't really. It's almost turned into sort of a religion, I suppose, and that's kind of a popular idea going around right now. That,
Right.
Like this like super far left woke type stuff is kind of turned into a religious factor of a faction of ideology and politics in this country because you can't question things. There's deities. There's just so much. You got to believe in things, even if it's Jenny wrote some earlier about how she was seeing something with Trevor Noah. How if we can't trust the news, if we can't trust, what are we going to trust? And then there's this idea of like, is red green now? And it's like, there's just so many factors going on right now that I feel like, I don't know if you lean this way, but I feel like it's kind of by design. I really do. I do feel like this sort of divisive nature where no one can talk to each other. No one's allowed, by the other side. And we're regulating ourselves. We don't even need the government and technology. Big tech is also regulating us as well. But we're regulating each other now, and we're not allowed to have these conversations. We're not allowed to talk about certain things. We're not allowed. And I just feel like that is something that was sort of put in place to keep us, I don't know, keep us distracted. I don't know. Why would
absolutely.
it? Please. I would love to know why you think that it's by design.
Well, it's interesting because speaking about this, used to be like people be like, "Oh, what are you, a conspiracy theorist?" And it's like, well, these days it's not a conspiracy because all the information is public, and it's like, and people talk about it all the time. I mean, when Trump would get on Fox News, he was so transparent, and I would just be like, "Good God!" Like when you would see the highlight, because I'd always get the highlights on like Colbert, so I'd be like, it's baffling because we have people admitting to corruption. We have people admitting like, oh yeah, the goal totally was to buy a certain amount of districts to get the people in the, in Congress that we wanted that would follow our agenda of, whatever that agenda is, whether we're talking far left or far right. And the strange thing is being in a two-party system where both of them are basically this, the same in a lot of ways, because if you really wanted a radical left party to be in power, that's the Green Party, and they don't have the money or the numbers to really make the difference that they want to. And it's a hard thing to crack when it comes to America because it's all about money. And we all know this. We don't live in a democracy. We don't even live in a democratic republic, much similar to an oligarchy. If you're like, what is he talking about? There's a lot of articles out there about this, where the same families have been in control in this country for generations. And are we seeing the progress we want to see as people? I mean, if you ever see a poll or a popular vote, and you see where people lie, and then all of a sudden none of our policies actually match that, then there's a something deeply wrong with the way we are running this country. And a lot of us know that, see that, but what do?
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have a lot of money to do it. I mean, there's a lot of grassroots causes that can have an effect, but what kind of time scale are we talking about here? Can we do enough good to really change the world in the next 2 years, in the next 10, 20? I don't know. And that's the tragedy, because I wish I was more hopeful. And hi, Pazzy B. But it's like, it's an exciting time to be alive. It's a frightening time to be alive for everybody, unless you're just like, I still know people who don't get on any online at all, don't even have smartphones, and I'm like, what is your life? How do I get that?
Yeah. No, for real. There is a bit of envy, where you see someone who's totally untethered to electronics and they're just living their life, like, how it was in the before smartphones and internets and
I mean, yeah.
wireless phones and shit. There was a time when we had to sit there and sit on a phone near the phone wire, or else we couldn't, or you get a big long one and have a big old tangled mess following you around. Now, it is interesting to see people sort of seeing everything unfold, and there's just sort of this sense of helplessness to people who are just sort of watching it happen. I mean, like you were saying, like the corruption has just become so blatant. It's become so just everywhere. When you look at people like Nancy Pelosi, right? Like she does the stocks. Like, have you seen like those TikTok accounts where they follow politicians, and they make buys. They buy different stocks according to how politicians trade. And you can literally track it. And there's people who like go further. They're like, okay, I look into what policies is Nancy pushing now. And then I go see what she's investing in. And then I can kind of see the writing on the wall, and boom, I just made a bunch of money. Hey, money. Thank you again. Thank you so much for gift subbing, Jennifer.
So I grew up with a father that worked for Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
And but he, for a brief period, was in DC, and got to see the reality of, like, if you're in DC going to fundraisers representing a private company, what do you think your goal is there? It's to literally buy people, to get them to push for policies that benefit you. And once again, this isn't conspiracy, because it's all there now. It's all public, and we can see it happening in real time. Just like we can see how many people profit off of the private prison industry, and which is modern slavery. And we live in a country with more imprisoned citizens per 1,000 than anybody in world fucking history. And why? Money. I mean, even Coca-Cola owns prisons, people, and they're making money off of it.
That's funny. What's funny? It's like, I've known that. I heard that before, but it's like one of those facts where it's just like, there's just so many things. Like the whole, Charlie Sheen had AIDS and gave it to somebody. Like, that's just in there. You know what I mean? And like, that's something that we just forget about. It's just like so much bullshit has just been happening. Oh, it's just this barrage of nonsense, fake information, real information. Fuck it. It's confused a lot of people, and it's really, it's really sad that there's just so many people who are just sort of living in that confusion and just sort of not even trying, or not even aware that they're confused. You know what I mean? Like there's just a I don't know, man. It does seem like it's by design, so we can sit here, shit on each other, and not see what they're doing behind the curtain.
Absolutely, because I mean, this was developed in the Draconian era as a theory of ruling: is keep your populace distracted, entertained, and uninformed. And it was like Jenny is saying there. I used to work at a place called the St. Louis Psychiatric Rehabilitation Center, right? And that's a place where if you were deemed not guilty by reason of insanity, you were remanded to be a ward of the state for the rest of your life. I know in movies they make it seem like, oh no, he's getting off by reason of insanity. How lucky. It's like, nope, because you're never going to be free again.
No.
And you're going to be in a maximum security psychiatric facility for the rest of your life. And more likely than not, no matter what you're diagnosed with, you're going to be put on a regimen of medications that I don't know. Seeing it firsthand was because I came from a background studying it. And when you're studying sociology and psychology, a thing happens called the lifting of the veil, where you see the world for what it is and you can't go back. But when you're learning it, you're like, surely that can't be the way it is. But then you get out in the world and you keep seeing it over and over and over again. And you're like, well, shit, this is the way things are.
Yeah.
And, but technology like pharmaceuticals, right? It's neither good nor bad.
Right.
And how we use it determines everything. And unfortunately, just like everything else that's happening right now, we have one goal in mind, at least the people controlling these things. The goal is wealth, the accumulation of wealth, which is such a nonsensical thing because unless you are a Viking or an ancient emperor from the fucking like empirical era of China, none of us believe we're taking this with us. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing getting all these toys? What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to give you a bigger dick. It's like, so it might. I mean, money can solve that.
Yeah. Money.
Take some of that forearm skin.
Let's go, baby. There's big dicks for everybody.
Yeah.
No. But what Jenny is saying, I think it is
People that hold wealth.
Yeah.
And land is one of the biggest tangible sources of wealth. And
right.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No. I'm just going to read it so people listening know what we're referring to. I read a really interesting article last night about how banks and landlords are the two single things that destroy our economy. Am I high or does this count as relevant? I think it is relevant to, because, BlackRock is buying huge swaths of land. They're edging out the middle class. They're making an even bigger divide between the poor and the wealthy, and
more than it has in a long ass time. And of course, so much of this can be laid at the feet of the white patriarchy that dominated the development of this country, unfortunately. And ever since Manifest Destiny as a concept came to fruition, and all of a sudden the government just owned land, and to the native peoples of America, that concept was just own land. Are you fucking kidding? And because that was developed in various cultures throughout history, and our country was founded basically on the fiefdoms of Britain and medieval Europe. And it's we're still doing that. We still have landlords. We're still paying fiefs to our fucking landlords. We are in medieval fucking times. It's did the Renaissance happen or what?
Oh,
so
we still invade countries, whether literally or by proxy. I mean,
hold on though. It's not an illegal act of war. It's Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's make another Call of Duty game about it so that it's all hunky dory.
And we'll train the next generation of.
It's
murderers.
Difficult.
No, it is crazy, and it is just becoming an oligarchy, and it is just being I think the biggest things, the biggest companies are these fucking pharmaceutical companies, the tech companies, and energy companies. These big companies that just hold our government hostage, and the thing that gets that these politicians think about, the last thing that these politicians think about is the people, if at all, right? Because they're only worried about bringing. And when you look at the amount of wealth compared to people, okay, so the people who are controlling the politicians, they have billions. And then when you look at these politicians, they have, a few $100,000 in their bank account, or Nancy Pelosi, who has a few $100 million in her bank account. Still, $100 million compared to $1 billion is a huge difference. And so you have these people who all they see is the stairway up, because the people who are really paying them are way above them in the social or at least in the class structure. And so you have these people who are just trying to become billionaires, who are just going to do whatever it takes, like literally whatever it takes. Like, we will send your children to war to die. We will allow, a pharmaceutical company to release a fucking drug that's going to stop your heart. You know what I mean? We're going to allow all this stuff because we don't care what really happens to people. We don't really care what happens to our pockets and how our family and friends are coming up. And that's what our country has turned to. And I know a lot of countries are, but talking specifically of America, we have just become that. And it's just like, I do think that America had something going for it. And I know it was built on the patriarchy or whatever, and the fucking, which I'm not trying to downplay that at all. I'm just saying, I know that we were built on slavery, but we also, there was a lot that we contributed to this world that's positive. And not saying that we needed slavery to accomplish that. But we're here where we're at. And I feel like America has done some cool things in this world. And it's done a whole lot of shitty, horrible things. And I like the concept of what America is. But what we've actually done, I don't know.
The dream of America.
The dream of America
One thing
is beautiful.
I will say this, though, is that the thing about life is that it's possibility, Jenny. Death is final. And I'm a skeptic. I am a scientist, and I am atheist as fuck. So we don't know what comes after this, but chances are nothing. But I don't know that. Nobody does. But the thing about life is that it's pure possibility. It's chaos, good, bad, everything in between and beyond. And that should always be like the driving factor for being like, because it's like the student loan scenario, right? We could easily wipe out that debt. It won't affect us. Not really at all. But will we? No. It's like Jenny was saying, things happen like secretly before the implementation of it has even begun, to where a lot of people who were supposed to qualify for it, now they don't, which is just like, well, what the fuck's the point? Because it should be a blanket thing, right? Actually, just eliminate all the debt like every other developed country in the fucking world. But whatever, right? Because our country right now, speaking of the money, it's like it operates because people are kept in the lower class socioeconomic status. It's like, for this to exist like it does right now, for the people benefiting from it. And once again, this isn't conspiracy. It's just economics. It's like, we all know trickle down economics is bullshit.
Thanks, Reagan.
But it's like, where do we go? How do we get there? And who needs to be in charge? And how the fuck do we get them in charge? I wish everybody was like Bernie Sanders, because he's one of the only fucking politicians that has never changed.
Yeah.
It's always been about the people. It doesn't matter who you are.
At least he was consistent, Yeah. Like everyone else, even the beloved Obama, who I absolutely loved. I didn't agree with all his decisions he made as a president, but no one ever does. He still was against the gay marriage at one point. It was like, I don't think gays should be married. And it's God's plan. It's God's plan. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, gee whiz, the tides have changed, and now I'm going to jump with it. So
yeah, and it's strange right now. I know everybody's had this on their mind with the SCOTUS decision of Roe v. Wade, because, Obama did a lot of great things, so does his administration, but they could have codified Roe v. Wade.
Right, and they did not.
They didn't. Why? Because it's always this fear of losing power, and it freezes a lot of mechanisms of governance to where nothing really gets done the way that the American populace wants. And we're seeing some crazy effects of that right now. Fucking bonkers. Like when it comes to like the University of Idaho, banning even condoms. Like,
no condoms.
The fuck? And what is that about? Well, it comes back again, like the working class, right? Essential workers. Why are all of a sudden so many people trying to force people to be pregnant? Is it really morality? Is it future money earning? What is it? Like
future tax revenue, huh?
right. So I don't know. There's a lot of beautiful things about being alive right now. Like, if you're a nerd who loves science fiction and comic books, holy shit. Like, woo, golden age. But it's like, if you have any, like, if you're thinking critically and rationally and objectively about what's going on in the world right now, it's fucking rough at times. There's no way around that. Yes.
Hold on. Jenny just said something that blew my mind. In Texas, you can't have more than 30 dildos. Hold on. Is that true?
There's a lot of laws like that all throughout the country that when you like, it's wild.
Yeah, you can't spit on Sunday or something.
I mean, there's all sorts of ridiculous laws still out there.
It-
Even about like you can be sued if like your pickles don't bounce a certain height. Like it's like what?
Excuse
Who
me,
made
sir.
this pickle law.
This pickle doesn't bounce worth a shit. This at least 2 centimeters. Texas bans the possession of or promoting the use of 6 dildos. Come on.
The fuck? Why? Why do they care? Like, who is this fucking guy wringing their hands? Because you know it's an old, crinkly white dude,
Right.
Whose porn search history would be incredible to see. But like they're just wringing their hands, being like, "Oh, I don't like the fact that they're." I'm like, player, let people stimulate themselves. What the fuck? It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That is wild. Hold on. In Texas, okay. Even possession of sex toy is regulated. Jesus Christ. Sexist. What? Texas. What? All right.
It's ridiculous.
Unhappy customer. The law in question appears to be aimed at adult performances as it spells out in a play motion picture dance. What is happening? The law also labels the sex toy as an obscene device and declares it a crime if someone possesses 6 or more obscene devices or identical or similar obscene articles and presumed to possesses them with intent to promote the same. What the fuck? Wait,
Well,
that didn't even make sense in my brain.
And here's an interesting statistic, Samo, is that when you look at states that are extremely strict on anything sex related, they typically have the highest viewers of porn and the highest viewers of porn categories that they specifically like create laws against. Like that is one of the most interesting things about the human psyche when it comes to our sexuality, when it comes to the way that presents itself in our lives and the lies we tell ourselves in the outwards world, because so many of us are raised in a home environment, city, etc. that's very, gender normative and sexual normative, where you're told certain things are normal, certain things are not. And the funny thing is that normal is a fucking fallacy, statistically and otherwise. It's a social construct. And a lot of people are talking about this in the chat. It's all to control us, right? This is all right now about trying to force us to have children. Why? There are a lot of reasons. But a lot of people hide behind reasons that aren't true and aren't actually what they believe. And why is that? Well, they need points for the next fucking election cycle.
Midterms are coming up.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. And I wish this world had a very intense sexual liberation and revolution, because holy fuck, do we need it? It's so it's ridiculous. I can't take it anymore.
What do you think about when you see the stories going around, when you see what's it? Not burlesque. Well, it is burlesque, but it's when the kids, they made a big deal about it. Where they had drag shows for elementary students. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you very much.
My favorite rebuttal to that is when people show pictures of the Catholic Church. I was raised in a Catholic church.
Me too.
Where the person talking to you is typically a white male who's wearing a dress, and the altar boys are put into a dress. And that's the funny thing, because when you look at, is there any evidence for drag affecting children negatively? No, duh. And it's like, it's such a no-brainer, but to so many people, they see something they don't understand. They see something that they were never able to be exposed to when they were young, that they were told was deviant, that they were told, if you do this, you're going to hell. And that traumatized them into never being able to see it any other way. And, you know, it's like, shit, I'm participating in a burlesque drag performance in October. And
He's like, of course I'm gonna be for it.
yeah. And the drag performers I know are some of the most kind, accepting people you'll ever meet. And why? Because they're artists. You know, they're entertainers. They're good people. But it's this fear, right? And a lot of it's wrapped up into, well, we need these gender norms to persist so that we can preserve this society, keep population growth up. And it's like all these ridiculous reasons that people have. And at the end of the day, none of it matters. And why do so many fucking old white men care about like what people are doing in their bedroom, who they're fucking, how they're fucking, what they look like when they're fucking? It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so much of this is just baffling.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. But I do feel for the parents who don't want that, and like, and to them, I would say, like, you know, I'm all about people building community, right? And like, if you want to build a community where like you don't want a drag show in your school and you want to keep it super fucking straightforward and just keep it, you know, whatever, I say that's fine. But keep it to your community. I think if you're going to sit there and vote and like you guys created this for yourselves so you don't have to deal with that, then I'm all about that, because I'm all about the democracy, you know, in my head, I guess. But like, you know, personally, who gives a fuck? Me personally, I don't care. We homeschool our son, so I'm not trying to send him to school at all. Anyways, that shit is a nightmare. But I'm not saying it's because of drag shows, but I'm saying like fuck the public school system.
Yeah, well,
it's
especially right now,
garbage. Poor kids.
You're afraid. You're afraid all the time as a parent, I imagine, if your kids are at school.
Yeah, who knows who's gonna walk in and just start shooting. Okay, so we got there. Now there's this lady in Ontario who's a shop teacher. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's an interesting choice. But here's the thing. It's like, I think about all the old creepy white men teachers I had growing up who were extremely inappropriate, creepy, like fucking creepy fucks.
And fucking the students.
And trying to, or actually
fucking the students. Yeah.
I have 3 examples in my head from my high school alone where two were men teachers that were having sex with students, and one was somebody who was grooming students and would date them after they graduated. You know, and what about the gay teachers? They didn't do anything like that, right? And you think about this example. If it's at a public school, right? I imagine there's going to be a lot of parents that aren't going to like it. And are they in their, you know, I don't know what the dress code is for teachers and what their contract looks like, because that's going to determine a lot. I mean, is there a provision that says like teachers must wear bras?
Yeah.
I don't know. And if I was in that class, I wouldn't care. Yeah. But
I think it would be fucking hilarious, honestly. Like, in me as a kid, not, like as a teenager, would be laughing. I mean, I laugh now. I'm sorry. Those are ridiculous size fake boobs. I'm not trying to laugh at their experience. I'm not trying to laugh at their, you know, who they want to be and how they want to present themselves. But those are big ass fucking honkers, bro, with hard ass nips. That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a buzzsaw when you got nipples that hard. But it's like, but that's the thing. It's like, personally, I want to live in a country where people don't even notice that. Like, it doesn't even register because it doesn't. Yeah. And that's kind of the danger of certain norms that we've come to believe are right or correct or the only way that we should live. And I think people like that, the reason she's doing this is to challenge that. And that is needed, because if we ever want to move forward as a society, we need to challenge our norms and really ask ourselves, why are they there to begin with? And one of the arguments I always fucking hated, even when I was a kid, is when, teachers, administration would justify, making women, females, dress a certain way because, well, the boys can't control themselves. I'm like, that is a failure on your parents' part right there. I was like, because yes, boys can control themselves.
Yes.
Yes, they fucking can. And it's like telling them they can't, telling them that it's not their fault, telling them all these stupid fucking myths about, well, she shouldn't dress that way if she doesn't want to be ogled at or touched. It's like, bitch, how about I cut off your hand? Like, it's like, and there's that interesting passage from the Christian Bible about, like, if that offends you, pluck out your eyes before actually judging that person, because really it's about why does it affect you so much? Because perhaps it is you that we should be focusing on, and because it's like, Jesus Christ, we need to live in a world where people can be themselves without fear of being touched inappropriately or sexually assaulted or fucking murdered just for being who they are. And when I see things like that, it's a necessary step in getting to a place as a global society where we do love each other for the small differences, where we celebrate the weird. It's like Gene Roddenberry said, the creator of Star Trek, like, we'll never be ready to really go to the stars until we can take a special delight in the differences that we see here amongst ourselves. Because if we can't do that, surely we can't be ready for the infinite variation that is surely out there in the universe. And that's like one of those quotes. I was paraphrased, not exact quote, but it's always with me, and it drives me because I was raised conservative, liberal politically, but I was raised in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I was raised in fucking Missouri, where if you grew up and you were openly homosexual, it's like,
Yeah.
I would feel very bad for you because you're about to have a horrible fucking life.
You're like either in
And that's
danger or it sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
me too.
yeah.
Me too. Middle Ohio. I'm fucking Ohio. I'm an Ohio baby. Hey, we're that swing state that fucking went red and brought in the fucking Trump. So, like fucking, I know, guns, guts, and glory, baby. Let's go.
And, perhaps, I'm not trying to say that kids don't have a sex drive. Obviously, once you hit puberty, you do. And my sexual awakening was seeing Lucy Lawless as Xena.
Ooh,
And yeah,
that's a good one.
the difference is
Sexual
it's like
awakening.
everybody has impulses and thoughts. We're fucking human.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the ability to restrain yourself enough to respect a fellow human being, that is not their fault. It is yours. And it's probably a failure of your parents and your environment, because we live in a country where we grew up with movies. I mean, watch anything from the 80s and early 90s. It's fucked up.
Early 2000s. Early 2000s.
Early 2000s is fucked up. And it's like,
that's gay.
Yep.
that's going light. That's going light.
Yeah. And the things that took me time, it takes everybody time to deprogram yourself of.
Hell yeah.
And be like, why shouldn't I say this? And we live in a much more aware culture right now, but there's also the flip side of it, the anti-woke culture that is like, oh, I should be able to fucking say whatever I want. I don't need these thought police trying to regulate my speech. It's like, bitch, sorry. But that's not what it is. It's about being kind to people, because, let's take, mental handicaps, for example. And the words that were used to put people down, and still are. And sometimes you see it still in movies and you're like, what the fuck? And, my brother worked closely with a lot of adults with developmental and social disabilities. And, one really tragic example was that word, the R word, made somebody feel so small and unloved and unlovable, unlikable, and like a burden to society itself, that they committed suicide because of that word. And it's like, if that alone, that single example, isn't enough to make somebody go, oh fuck, I guess not saying a word isn't really that big of a deal if it can have that big of an effect on somebody else and their happiness and their like health. And that's the strange thing, because we live in a fucking society. You're not free to do whatever you want. And that's like the crux. That's the difficult nature. It's like, well, what are we free to do? What aren't we free to do? What should we be free to do? And that's a deep philosophical question that changes with each generation, each decade. And I don't know. I think we could be a freaking phenomenal species, a loving species that changes this world for the better, that actually saves ourselves from the brink of distinction that we're looking at, or we won't. And I fear, I fear that it's going to be the latter that happens. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
suspect it. I suspect that as well. Yeah, man. I feel you, and like I hate the idea, because I've gotten it a couple times when I've had people write me and be like, "What you said really hurt," and that sucks. And like I've been attacked on Twitter and shit. That shit sucks. I know how bad that shit sucks. But I also think it is important. I agree that freedom. I think Falls said it. Was like freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequence. I think that's where I live. It's like, I think you can say whatever you want to say, by law, and I think it should stay that way. But you shouldn't be shielded from consequences. Like,
Well,
if you want to go in the middle of a neighborhood and
Yeah.
yell the N-word or whatever, and then you get shot, well, fuck you. Like, you were in there doing stupid things, and I'm expressing my freedom of speech. Well, now you're dead, bitch. That's how it
Yeah.
goes. And
Well, yeah.
and that's a very extreme example, but like, I don't think freedom of speech should be freedom to hurt people's feelings either. But I think when we start making it legal policy, that's when things get a little weird, because
Well, then,
now we're
yeah.
talking about what we can say. And then what's the next thing we can say? Was the next thing we can't say is like, we can't question our government? Is the next thing that we
Right.
can't question, our mayor, our police chief? We can't question the people that we pay, like, so to me, that's a slippery slope to say that,
yeah.
to make freedom of speech sort of, obsolete. But I do agree that if you're going to fucking, use something like freedom of speech, just be prepared.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go out saying stupid shit, then you're gonna go out saying stupid
and also
shit.
at least read the amendment, because a lot of people don't understand that freedom of speech only applies in public forums. It's like,
Yeah.
guess what? It doesn't apply on
Twitter,
Facebook or
yeah.
Twitter or
Yeah.
Twitch even,
Right.
because this is a private space owned by a company. But it is true. Right now in our country, especially during COVID under Trump, a lot of us were wondering, like, oh shit, do we live in like a tyrannical fascist government? And it really was like, people were I mean, I think about the protests that were happening during Black Lives Matter and the media blackout in Portland, and just like seeing things for the first time in America in the modern age. Because I mean, during the civil rights movement, that was all happening. People were being arrested and killed for trying to change things for the better. But fast forward now, a lot of people are willing to die on the hill that they should be able to, express themselves a certain way, right? And that is a slippery slope, because when you start coming after that, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, where does it end?
Yes.
And when you see, government entities that don't have any insignia or any indication of who they represent being able to work with impunity during a peaceful protest and do whatever the fuck they want and not see any consequences, like, there's your slippery slope right there. It's like, it's already happened.
Yeah.
And what's the future going to hold? And I'm really worried about what's going to happen here in these next elections, because it's going to determine a lot.
Yeah. I feel like that's every election, though. I feel
yeah.
like every election's been like, this is the one. I mean, I think.
Right.
I get it. It is. It's a very important thing. And midterms, everybody should be voting. If you're in America or anywhere you live where you can vote, please go vote. Like, exercise your right, if that
Yeah.
means anything to you, or if it means anything in the real world. Okay. So the one thing I can say, though, like, about these Twitter, being this, it's a private space. it just came out. I mean, it's not just coming out, but there's a report. What's his name? Something Berenson, I think. Alex Berenson, I think is his name, where he was banned from Twitter for talking about COVID in certain ways that wasn't liked. And what he uncovered is that the Biden administration was actually pressuring Twitter and all these different places that, what are you doing about this Alex Berenson guy? He was a New York Times reporter, and now he's like shunned. He's shunned to Substack. But and like, I'm not saying I agree with what he was saying about COVID or anything about that. What I'm saying is that it's supposed to be a private company, but it's different when your government is pressuring that company to enforce rules that they might not have enforced without the pressure of the government. That's different. That's
Absolutely.
that's not a private company regulating or moderating. That's our fucking government going against our freedom of speech by using technology. And I think it's further than that. And I think it's not just this one case. And I think with COVID, I think that's just been the norm now. I mean, It happened with the Hunter Biden laptop thing. And whatever you think about Hunter Biden and the Biden administration, whatever, I'm not trying to say anything, but they did bury that important story, called it Russian misinformation. And then, a year later, the New York Times is like, oh, hey, by the way, it's all real. It's not Russian misinformation, you dumb fucks.
Yeah. And it's like what was said earlier. When you can't trust the news, when you can't even trust what your government is telling you, and you constantly, like, we do live in this interconnected web now where, like, if something's a lie, it's gonna come to light. So it's kind of funny in politics right now that it's really this damage control. Like, okay, we can lie now and reap the benefits until date X. So I guess we're gonna lie, and but really, that's always been politics. I mean, think about the very aspect of a campaign promise. That's a lie, more likely than not. All the things that Biden ran under.
Yeah.
For example, federal legalization of marijuana. Where the fuck's that, player?
Where we at, bitch? I need this.
One of the biggest reasons a lot of people around our age voted was for student
loan,
debt forgiveness.
Yeah.
So it's like, where is that?
How long have these boobs have been up here for so long?
Yeah,
It's
just boobs.
Boobs.
But I don't know. It's such a complex time. It's always been complex to be a human, but like we were saying, it's so salient now because you're constantly bombarded with the information.
Right. Technology has brought it to the forefront. Show some butts.
Yeah. And, like we've been discussing, almost every aspect of our lives right now is being politicized and used against us to galvanize us, to polarize us. And it's all to reach certain outcomes, whether it's to buy a certain product or have more children, to help us have more workers in the future. It's like, it's a strange time to be alive, and it's hard to think of it any other way.
Yeah.
Strange, scary, exciting.
I'd say exciting for sure. I'm really trying to find some booty right now, y'all. Like, y'all don't even know. I'm literally just trying to find a nice juicy ass, and just for Atomic Lady, because I feel like they've earned it. Here, let me give you guys my favorite IG model.
Okay. I like the 180.
Yeah.
We probably needed it.
Well, you got to break it up. We got to break it up. All right, hold on. I'm trying to find a good booty pic because this young lady is probably my wife and me. We have, like, what do you call it when you get a person, the list of people. Like Obama is on her list, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Obama, like that. Like, if you want to fuck Obama, I mean, whatever. But this lady right here is on my list, and she's just an IG model. Oh, nuts. I shouldn't say just. She is.
I mean,
she's an IG model.
Has the singer Maroon 5 slipped into her DMs yet? Because then she knows she's made it.
No, she's not a skinny little white girl.
But it's the funny thing because you like one photo of like a cosplayer who is a very attractive person of the gender you're interested in or genders.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden all your suggested reels and posts are that. You're like, hold on, player. I mostly like video game stuff.
I know, man. I know. I saw one camel toe. I liked it, and it's over. Now it's all camel toes.
But okay, she has I mean, I get it. I get the appeal.
Oh, I mean, yeah. This is the peel right here. This is right, man. What's up? I mean, this is literally, Anyways, I'm getting way into this. That you like one pimple popping video, yeah. You like that shit. She is pretty. She is pretty lovely. Like, thank you. We'll keep her up because she's. What's her name? And just so you guys can. Go follow her. Her name is Caitlin Wenfumbu. Sorry, or baby cat.
Baby Kai.
Baby
It's
baby
like
K.
I need somebody to be. Oh man, I wonder how many very like thirsty old men contribute to her Cash App per day.
Does she have it listed?
Oh
No, she doesn't.
that is, I feel sorry for her. It's
right?
like, girl,
you're doing it wrong. I think she's
Where's
like
your-
a legit model though. Like I think she really does get flown out to places and gets.
so it's like still make that because
that
one
skrill.
thing people right now I think that have these internet celebrity statuses where they're making all this money simply from posting or existing. It's like diversify your portfolio because that
Absolutely.
shit ain't gonna last.
Never will.
All right.
That's the one thing I've learned from being a musician and having that hustler mentality is knowing like this isn't gonna. This gig will dry up eventually, and we're always looking for the next gig. And like the more sort of irons you can have in the fire, the more opportunity and the easier things are, because just being one thing, unless you're at a really high, let's say you just want to be a professional musician. To just be a professional musician on a high level and that's all you do, you're still doing all kinds of different gigs. You're still doing all kinds of different stuff, but you are just playing music most of the time. But that's on a very high level. You can do that. And you can do that on a very local, regional level. But again, you're hustling different places. You're constantly talking to bar owners, bar managers, places to play, reaching out, putting a band together, keeping a band together. It's hard. It's really hard. And you're always looking for what's next and how am I going to pay rent fucking in January? Fuck, how's that going to happen? But
yeah, and it's wild right now because you remember the era of going to Kinko's or Office Depot and getting like 300 flyers printed out just to get 2 people to a show. And it was hard back then, and now it's like, I mean, the only reason I'm back on social media is to push music, because you need to be if you want to reach an audience. And you can still do the local. I'm not saying like the old ways don't work, but if like nobody knew who the fuck I was in Kansas City, so how am I going to start?
right.
Where do I go? And how do I contact people these days? And anytime I call anybody, they're like, well, why don't you try our open mic? I'm like, what? Well, that's not what I said. But it's like you got to pay your dues again, all over again. For me, is like the stage I'm at. But it's like these days, it's like you're your own everything because you're your own promoter, your publicist, your agent, your photographer, your producer for a lot of people we know. And it's like, those are all very marketable skills, though. It's like some of my friends that, do really high production podcasts and streams and videos on YouTube. I'm like, you're putting this in your resume, right? I was like, did you start your LLC yet? So you can say you're running your own business, for fuck's sake? Because do it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a creator of any type out there, get an LLC.
Yeah.
Do it.
Even if you have like a day job, because at the end of the year you can write off those taxes, baby.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Every Amazon purchase.
All of them. Get them. Get them. Even the I forget what it's called. What's the thing that you can bang? The fleshlight. Even the fleshlight.
I don't know why I knew you were going to say fleshlight. Like I knew that's where this was going. Because like that could be considered a self-care tool to help you prepare for a show.
Yeah, I need to release before I stream. No, bro, Reina just did this thing out, Grundy Palooza out in Seattle, Washington. And fucking, let me tell you something. I can't wait till tax time. We're writing all of that shit off, son. All of it. It's nice. It's nice to be able to do that. It's nice to be able to, at the end of the year, be like, well, this is how America's structured. It's like I'll have all these write-offs until I pay zero taxes. And you got to think, this is how fucking when you scale it up. Yeah. This is how people don't pay taxes. This is how Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos paid fucking $6 in 2014. You know what I mean? Like, that's how this happens. But it's something. It's part of the legal system, the tax law, and for them, it's even crazier because they get to do all kinds of crazy shit with their money because they got a lot of it. But
and plus, they could do things like start a subsidiary that is a nonprofit, right? And they could start it with seed money of their own, of however much they want. So it's like it all comes back to money.
Oh yeah,
doesn't it?
Money, I love it. Speaking of money, now Fenwa, I know you've been on with us for a long time, so I'm going to give you the option, and you probably have to pee as I do, but I'm going to give you the option of taking off and get ready for your stream. I know you stream later on 8 p.m. CST.
Yeah. So 9 p.m. your time. 9
p.m. EST. So you have the option. You can either say goodbye. And that's fine, and obviously no hard feelings. Or you could sit here and watch my wife torture me some more. That's purely up to you, but that's what's about to happen is more torture. So
I think I'm going to bow out of the interview, but I'll lurk in the channel and watch and enjoy that pain. But thank you so much for having me on.
Dude, thank you.
It was fun.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sorry things went so haywire. This was a very chaotic stream, and I appreciate everybody who hung on there and like stuck it in. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And thank you, Fenwa. I really, really enjoyed talking to you. You're a very fascinating human being and very intelligent. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I only wish that it wasn't so broken into so many different pieces. And
are you going to TwitchCon?
I'm not.
Damn it!
I went to Willytown, bro. That was like TwitchCon, baby TwitchCon. That was dope. We had so much fun hanging out with all those streamers. So I went to baby TwitchCon, so I'm good. No, and actually, in all honesty, I can't afford to go see it in San Diego.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, yeah, I feel that. I mean, why do you think I live in Missouri still? I can actually afford it.
Yo, I lived in Southern California for 13 years, man, and the struggle is real out there. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what it's like now. So whatever.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna keep talking if I don't just leave.
I understand. So, Fenwa, thank you so much for being on here. He's gonna be streaming a little bit later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're clicking on the links, following your boy. If you're listening to this on the audio, and I know you are, make sure you're in the motherfucking show notes and you are following Fenwa on all his socials and his Twitch and his Twitters and his. Do you have a TikTok yet?
Oh, I have a TikTok.
Oh wait, I think we're friends on TikTok.
I think so.
Yeah, dude, TikTok is awesome. I'm sorry, but it's awesome. All right, Fenwa, everybody, put your hands together. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. There he goes, everybody. Give him some love. All right, see you later, buddy. My brother just moved to San Diego. Oh, he must have a good job.